go. That's what I saw. I saw 3, 2, 1, go. Chat. Chat's up. Never miss a comment. Click on a chat message to display it on the screen. It says live 720p. I've been live for 28 seconds on Sheep Show Live. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sheep Show Live. One of the things that I noticed about Restream versus StreamYard when you are on actually on my phone, when I was on my phone, I noticed that Restream seems to respond a little bit slower than StreamYard does. And also on the laptop, it seems to respond a little bit slower than StreamYard did. But hey, I got one victim in here. I'm being electrocuted. So anyways, I'm just testing out Restream versus StreamYard. And testing it out on a laptop on a Richard. See you. Let me see if I can show your comment. There it is. Hello, Richard. Thank you for being here. Yeah, so I'm just testing out. Good to see you too, man. I'm testing out Restream versus StreamYard to see if it's something that I might want to use instead of StreamYard, because it's like almost half price. Not quite half price. It's a little bit. StreamYard's like $35 a month for the basic plan, and Restream is what, like $20 a month? I have CRS, so I'm trying to remember. But it's not quite half price, but it's definitely a lot less than StreamYard. And somebody recommended that I use Restream, and then they put LOL at the end, like use Restream, LOL, you dumbass. Damn, I don't know. I know they didn't mean it that way, but I'm just playing. But I thought I'm gonna look into that. I think maybe this is what Bao uses, because this allows you to do the chat overlay on the screen, and the backgrounds and stuff. And I think I recognize this. Some of the streamers are using Restream rather than StreamYard. So anyways, if you come in, I hope you're having a great day. Let me throw this in the chat. I hope I just type not in all caps. It's kind of weird. There we go. There we go. I'll take out the testing and I'll just put have a day. Let's do that. Let me see if I can. One of the things I noticed, and I'm also doing this on a hotspot. So the fact that I'm using a hotspot is another factor that I have to consider, because I've only used StreamYard at home on a home internet connection, and it's a gigabit connection. So my internet's pretty fast at home, and this is on a hotspot. So definitely, I know I'll feel I'll feel the pain when if my hotspot gets derated and they slow me down. This might not even work. So I have to find a hotspot that doesn't derate me, that doesn't throttle me. Throttle me is the term I was using. So this is share screen. I pushed it before and nothing happened. So this time it worked, and I can do a Chrome tab. All right. Let's go to YouTube. Let's go to this here because I want to talk on this. This is one of the ones that I wanted to talk about. I'm looking here. One moment, please. One moment, please. I'm just going to test this out. Actually, let's just test anything here. Let's look at who's live here. I don't see anybody live. Oh, Schnapola. This is on my personal account. That's why I don't see anything. Let me switch accounts here, guys. That's on my freaking personal account. That's why I couldn't find anybody. That's like, there we go. Oh, I see me. I see me testing. I see my own live stream. Holy crap, I'm famous. I am famous. Let's see what's up with ZDT. So, thank you, Richard. Appreciate that feedback. Let me share this screen.
Bernie's here. You kidding me? Get the fuck out of here.
So
let's check up on her.
How's the audience?
Check on her.
Richard, can you tell me how the
audio needs to be registered with the State Board of Equalization in California to be legally selling these things. To be legally selling anything in the state of California, you pretty much have to have a seller's permit with the Board of Equalization.
How's the audio?
Where is her
filter?
Okay, well, I think we should look up.
Hey, VOA no filter. Okay. Your minion sent you screenshots. I didn't understand the context. Well, tell me what the screenshot was, and I'll tell you what it is. I'm a pretty honest and forthright person.
Friggin' weekend at Bernie's over there.
I try not to lie. I do lie sometimes, but I'm a pretty honest guy.
And search.
I try my very best not to do anything that I would have to hide or cover up. But yeah, I mean, if you got a serious question about a screenshot that somebody sent you, no.
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
if it's
I would like to say
one about the naked guy in the woods by the tree. Thank you, Richard. I appreciate that. If it's the one about the naked guy in the woods by the tree,
I just have to say,
can't clearly see my face. So, sure. If you're talking about that screenshot, there's no context to talk about.
Yeah, that's how you spell her name.
Because it was me, because you can't see my face.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to show you on the California State Board of Equalization website here.
Let's interact. Let's
search for Karen De La Carriere. Okay.
Let me interact with you. Not in the way that
this again.
Dodge Landesman interacts with his dog, but in an actual, in an actual civilized kind of way.
We're gonna search again.
Oh, what's going on over here? This thing says, okay, this thing says I have two participants. I have Sheep Show.
No results. For Karen De La Carriere. No results.
Okay, so then I'm gonna get over here. I'm gonna stop sharing.
No results.
Because
I'm gonna try the spelling again.
Figure out how to go back to. Let me try to throw up the link here. Copy the link. There's this. We go back to my chat.
Try the spelling again.
Go here.
But we do not see her.
Here's the link. And then I'm going to stop sharing this screen. Because it's a little bit of a distraction. I know that it works. If anybody would mind clicking on that link so that let me know if it takes you to the let me know if it takes you to the studio. Come on. Come on, DOA, if you want to. I have a few minutes here. You'll probably click on the link. Here's the link. Thank you, Richard, for all the feedback. I appreciate that. I hope you're having a great day, and I hope you're feeling better. Been quite a while since you were going through some health issues. I'm pretty sure I remember that was you, but I have CRS, so I could be wrong. It's been quite a while. I hope you're doing better. You're still kicking. I see that. That's a good sign. You woke up today. You're still kicking. You're still kicking ass and taking names. So that's a very good sign. Let me see if you can see me in my office. Okay, hang on. We're still getting I'm still getting DOA. Okay, there we go. I had him I was getting it from the right, Matthew the King? DOA. I don't know if DOA is a troll. I don't know if he's really in it's hard to tell. I mean, because he could be a good troll. He could be a supporter of ZDTs and mine and just be kind of, just somebody who was born to troll, or he could be a an agent provocateur. He could be a saboteur. He could just be in here to get in our good graces. Cynthia, yeah, my sister from another mister. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Good job. Good job. And I'm going to say that you passed your drug test. I'm not even going to ask you. I'm going to say congratulations on passing your drug test. Unless they did the hair sample goes back 6 months. So if they did the hair sample, then I'm not going to give too much because that's your story and that was something that you had come out publicly on. And I'm talking about the Viagra, the Viagra, the female Viagra is what I'm talking about. But yeah, congratulations on that. Unless, like I said, unless they did the hair test, and that female will definitely show up. But if they didn't do the hair test, which goes back 6 months, sometimes even more, I'm sure you're very good to go. I'm sure you're very, very, very good to go. Congratulations. So Cynthia, I wanted to talk to you. I'm just going to throw it out here right now. Come up on the panel if you like, if you feel like it. If not, you don't have to. But because I'm just testing this out. Let me know, folks, if Richard has already said everything looks good, but let me know if you get any lag or if you get any disconnects or anything like that. Because like I said, I am on a hotspot. So I got my laptop hooked up to my cell phone. This says microphone. Oh, this is something else. This is on my computer doing background crap, which is not good. But Cynthia, I wanted to throw this out there at you, and I know that you're probably going to say no. I say probably because you might not say no. But I was thinking, hey, I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not allowed to give you legal advice, and I'm not allowed to represent you in a court of law. But I certainly can talk to you as a friend, and I certainly can tell you that, hey, Cynthia, if they did to me what they did to you, this is how I would handle it. And this is what I would do about it. And what I would do if they did what they did to you to me is I would go and I would file a civil suit in the name of John Doe's 1 through 10. And I would sue John Doe's 1 through 10 in a court. And then once I filed that civil suit in the Superior Court with the John Doe's, I would file a subpoena for CPS for the specific purpose of identifying the callers that reported me, because I'm saying if I were you, to identify the people that reported me to CPS because I have reason to believe that it was done maliciously, that there was no real concern for the safety or well-being of my children, and that if the callers that that filed these false allegations against me are in fact the callers that I think that they are, I think that I have enough evidence to prove that they did it intentionally and with malicious intent. Um, and then I can go and I would go subpoena CPS for all of the records that they have regarding any witness statements that they've taken, whether or not CPS acted, and maybe this might lead to something, a case that I filed directly with CPS if this happened to me, on CPS acting negligently. If somebody calls CPS and says, "Hey, I think this lady's on drugs," they don't. CPS, has a process that they have to go through, and they don't just say, "Oh, okay, we'll get right on it. We'll send somebody out there to," usually they have to take they take statements from people, and they get information together from people, and they develop a case on a person, and then they decide whether or not this case warrants an actual home visit, an actual home check. So there had to be certain allegations made in detail, not just, "Hey, I think somebody's a druggie because they act like a," they always play. I think Sheep Show's a drug addict because he always plays "Tweakers be tweaking, tweakers be tweaking." So I think Sheep Show's a tweaker because he always plays that song. CPS is going to start an investigation and go to my house and make me submit to drug tests just on something like that. They're going to. It has to be something deeper. So I'm just throwing this out there for you. If I were in your position, that is definitely what I would do. And if you want to do that, I can't be your lawyer, but I can show you what I would do in order to get the information and expose the people that called CPS on me fraudulently. That's definitely what I would do. So I'm just throwing that out there for you. Something for you to think about. I probably already think you're going to say no, because you probably want to let it go, and you probably want to get past it, but I don't know for sure. It's just my guess. It's just my guess. I'm just throwing that out there for you. So, still testing here. Matthew the King, did I say hello? And thank you for coming in. I hope you're having a great day. Tweakers be tweaking. Let's change up this window here a little bit. See what this does. All right. That takes me down there on the side. I can add slides. I can do another screen. Direct D, thanks for being in here. My brother from another mother. If you want to come up, the link's there. We can hash out some shit, or you can talk some shit, or I can talk some shit. We can listen to your poop sounds, if that's what you want to. I don't know if that's what my audience is into or not. They could be up to it. They could be into that. I don't know. Actually, I know that I got a bunch of trolls in here from the Scientology protesting community. There's this freaking creep named Dodge Landisman, and I'm pretty sure he engages in, at least I suspect that he engages in bestiality with his dog, and he definitely might be into getting down with some pooping sounds. There's some other dude. There's some other cat. Yeah, right, Richard? That was some BS stuff. There's some other cat called DOA, and he shits in a bucket. So he might be interested in hearing some different shit sounds. I'm sure he gets quite a few different shit sounds in his bucket, and he could very well be interested in that. So who knows, man? Who knows? Oh, here we go, man. Here we go. He's here. I'm testing out this DOA yo, what's up?
We are live shitting on your channel right now. I want everybody to know that.
This is a first. I want to thank you, man. I want to thank you for a Sheep Show first.
We have cigarettes, coffee, and a toilet.
I want to thank you.
It's
so,
amazing.
did you see all the shit that I was talking on you, or do you want me to go over it with you? I know you probably don't care.
I don't care. No.
Yeah, I know you don't care. Anyways, I was just saying. Well, I don't normally talk shit about you unless I feel like it's true. But I was just saying that I don't agree with you calling out all of the good shit about you. I was saying that I'm all for somebody that has done things in their life that that maybe they shouldn't have done, and changed, and is not doing that shit anymore. And I'm a freaking cheerleader for people that change their lives around. And to me, you were one of those dudes. But when you want to be calling out other people for some of the same shit that you yourself have done, I just don't think, one of the points that I made was you're not the guy to be doing it. You know, um, you don't
Well,
have.
what have I done? I haven't called anybody out for anything that I've done.
No, not that you've done, but
No.
am I wrong about you calling people out for criminal records?
I'm not calling people out for criminal records.
Okay, well then I'm going to have to retract that. Then I owe you an apology, because if I remember correctly, I thought that you did call people out for their criminal history, and if you did not do that, and if I did say that you did, then I owe you an apology for that.
If somebody's got I'm trying to use the right terminology and not mess with your live stream here. But if somebody has an SA pass, or they're an SO, or you know what I mean, they've been in trouble for shit like that, I'll absolutely call that out.
Well, is it I mean, I think that there's a place for that, and I think that there is a place for
But I haven't done
definitely
that. So.
for holding people accountable for the negative connotations that come with things like that. But one of the problems that I have, being convicted of crimes that I know that I am not guilty of, is I'm a little
Same.
hesitant to call people out. I know that there are people out there that have been convicted of that, and I know, at least I believe, and I'm convinced that they're innocent of that and of those charges, and they got railroaded through a corrupt criminal justice system. I know for a fact, I know for an absolute fact that sometimes victims of PDF files will make false allegations against other people to protect the actual perpetrator. I know that for an absolute fact. And I know that sometimes innocent people get caught up in that, and innocent people get convictions for crimes that they didn't commit. Now there's some people that there's just so much effing evidence. I mean, when you got 40 people, 30 people, 20 people coming out saying the same thing about you. Well, I mean, there comes a point in time where you're just not accepting reality. You're just in denial. You know what I mean? But maybe somebody was just with one charge like that, and with no background, and not being able to read the to see the evidence, that was presented in court. I'm a little hesitant to hang somebody like that and to crucify somebody like that. But that's just me.
Well, I mean, if if we're talking about modern stuff, though, if you're an activist or doing this kind of thing in modern times, then I absolutely believe it's completely. I mean, I know the cops make things up, but it's more plausible when you're a public figure and you're actively fucking with the government, so to speak. I've been a criminal pretty much my whole life, minor criminal, been to prison. I can't honestly say that up until recently, when I was on YouTube, that everything was made up that I went to jail for. Nobody ever lied in any of my police reports where I actually did anything wrong. I mean, I can honestly say I've never been railroaded by the system until I started documenting it. So if people have shit in that it's 25 years old, it's really irrelevant. And why would people lie about that in the real time? What? And another question to me is, the government wasn't interested in framing us or putting us in a jail cell and making us look bad, when we didn't have YouTube channels and we weren't documenting them. They didn't go out of their way to fuck with people. In my experience, and I only lived in Arizona and have a criminal history in Arizona. So in Arizona, I mean, for the most part, every time I've been arrested has been legit until I started recording the police. I've never had a victim in any crimes that I've committed lie on a police report. Nothing. I've never experienced that kind of thing. Even in prison, dude. I was in prison with guys that were singing, I didn't do it right, I didn't do anything. And then I read their fucking paperwork and they're guilty as shit. So I have a lot of experience with that kind of shit. A lot of fucking experience. I've read more paperwork than you've probably seen.
Well, I'll tell you a personal involves me, and I did have the experience that you say that you did not. And I was hemmed up. I got drunk, and I was being a drunk asshole, and I made the mistake of pissing off a couple of cops, and I pissed them off very severely. So when I went to court, and I got my public pretender, I told my public pretender, I said, I didn't do what I'm being accused of doing. I'm not guilty, and it has nothing to do with being a pedophile. It's a violent crime. Has to do with battery and violence. So I said I didn't do accused of doing, and the public pretender said, doesn't matter whether you did it or not. They got you for interfering and obstructing. So they got you for 148. And so either you take this sweetheart deal that they're offering you right now and you get out of jail right now, or you stay in jail because you can't afford the bail, and you try to fight the charges, that and the battery charge, and you hope that you can beat those charges, because whether you did it or not is kind of irrelevant. They say you did it, and it's not hard for them to prove that you did it. And me, being young, dumb, and full of cum, I took the bait and I took the deal, and I ended up pleading no contest for something that I was not guilty of. So I, for one, and this, I had no knowledge of auditing or anything like that. This was 30 some years ago. So without being an auditor, was hemmed up. Now I know you did make the point that if we're talking about single charges, like 20, 30 years ago, you think differently about those charges. So maybe you wouldn't include me in somebody that you would call out as being, made some of the, being not. I don't know what point you're making. Are you making the point that we should self-confess? Are you making the point that we shouldn't be auditing if we have a past like that? Maybe you could clarify for me what point you're making.
Yeah, you and a lot of other people seem to lack the understanding of what's going on. There's people that want to be taken serious doing this, and there are other individuals that are detracting from that. And sure, you could throw me into that group in a larger grand scheme of things, but we're not there yet. There's still people roaming around, and I don't know how you feel about the whole delete lips, but that dude's a major problem for a lot of us. And it has nothing to do with people's criminal history. Like, I know that seems to be your focus, but that's not really what it has to do with at all. It has to do with not being able to find lawyers. It has to do with GoFundMes that certain individuals actually need help with, that don't get the help because there's other people grifting off of that kind of shit. We can't find lawyers when we do get arrested for shit because, people fuck with lawyers that try to help them out for no reason. And I'm talking about for public safety specifically. In this instance, like, a lawyer calls him out and he gets butthurt that he gets caught lying and fucks with the dude's law license. And the dude's a pretty popular lawyer. So, I mean, it's reasonable to think that now that he's been burnt by the First Amendment, he's going to go around for the rest of his time as a lawyer and not have anything good to say about people like me and Chris and everybody else, making it that much more fucking difficult for us to find and hire lawyers. I can't find a lawyer in Arizona, and I haven't been able to figure out what the fuck the problem is until the last year or two. As soon as I start telling lawyers, yeah, I got arrested, I was recording the police, there's a shift in their expression, their facial features change. They don't even want to hear me speak anymore. It's not because of me.
So
It
I
has
don't
nothing to
agree.
do with my,
I
huh?
don't agree, man. I don't agree. I mean, I agree with the premise that it's hard to find lawyers, but I don't agree with the reason why lawyers won't represent us. I think it's completely unrelated to the freaking motley crew of idiots and fucking what do you call it, low IQ morons that are involved in 1A auditing and thieves and grifters. I think, number one, there's no money in it for them. And number two, it is really easy for a lawyer to convince a jury of sheep that we're the bad guys. And it's really easy for lawyers to just give them that government propaganda that we're just out there to instigate, to provoke, so that we can because we're looking for a reason to sue cops. And I think juries eat that up. And I think lawyers look at the facts and say, I ain't touching this fucking case. Number one, it's a dog. I probably won't win. And even if I do win, I'll be lucky for the jury to give me $1 because they're going to see this guy as a fuck. My jury for my most recent case of 148, I guarantee you they thought that I was fucking Antifa. They thought that I was making fucking bombs in my basement and getting ready to blow up police stations. I guarantee you that's what they thought about me.
Why do you think they thought that though? That's my whole point. You're missing the point here. You think lawyers don't want to take cases because there's not enough money, and that has nothing to do with it, dude. I mean, I've spent years doing this shit right here. I talk to a lot of fucking people. I've been trying to figure this shit out for a long time. I mean, you sound like you're a little jaded towards lawyers in general, and I mean, I get it.
Probably true.
A lot of lawyers don't want to help us, and it has nothing. There's back. I don't obviously I don't know your experiences personally, but I mean, a lot of people focus on like their YouTube videos and meeting each other and hanging out. My focus has been on figuring the court shit out, meeting lawyers, making friends with lawyers and shit, and trying to get an understanding of why I've had so much fucking problem, why I've had so many fucking problems in this state. And it has nothing to do with, well, he walks up and he cusses at him. That's the lamest fucking excuse ever. It has to do with the people that have come before me. There's backroom chatter that happens. As soon as my case file, without a lawyer ever talking to me, is handed to a public defender or somebody that goes and takes my case, there's a story that comes with my case file. This is one of them sovereign citizen YouTubers that fucks with the police and hates the government. Be careful. Like, that's little comments like that get made all the time. And that kind of shit is coming from people that are fucking it up for the rest of us. And, you don't have to agree with me, and I can be lumped into the group of people that's making us all look bad because I'm a felon, and I'm cool with that. But at the end of the day, when we're all like on some tree hugger shit and we all just want to be accepting of everybody, you can't expect the outside looking in on us to take any of us fucking serious when there's a bunch of weenies running amongst us. I mean, it's
Well,
just,
I don't know that there's any. I mean, we live in a country and in a world where there's a bunch of fucking weenies running around us. So I mean, I don't understand how to out.
What do you think I mean when I say a bunch of weenies? I mean, I'm using a general terminology that's not exactly specific. So what do you think I'm talking about?
Well, what I think you're talking about is I think you're talking about what you've said is the people that are doing this for the wrong reasons, the people that are grifting off of their GoFundMe's, the people that are making enemies with lawyers doing that kind of stuff, the people
Yeah.
that
You don't think that there's people doing that?
I do think that there's people doing that. Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you that it exists, but my point is that I don't know what we would ever be able to do to keep them from entering,
It's
you
not.
know,
No, it's.
the 1A community.
I'm not interested in gatekeeping. That's not the mentality here at all. The idea is to draw a line. that you're drawing a line. There's no gatekeeping. You draw a fucking line and you define certain people on one side of it and certain people on the other side of it, and that's it. Nobody, you don't keep anybody from doing anything. Like, that's some controlling shit that I'm not about. Motherfucker can make a YouTube channel and do whatever the fuck he wants, but you know, the group that's on the right side of the line doesn't have to recognize the left side. Do you know what I'm saying? You don't got to share videos from these motherfuckers. We don't got to hang out with them, talk about them, or give them any clout whatsoever towards what we're doing, because what we're doing is serious. I mean, I don't know about you, but I've got 3 kids that I'm scared to fucking death what their future looks like. So I could give 2 shits about anything else. You know what I mean? Everybody thinks it's just drama and shit, bro, but my mentality changed with kids, dude. I didn't give 2 fucks about none of this stuff, and that's all my thoughts are absorbed with. Every time I see one of these videos of the cops fucking with a constitutionalist or just some random person that gets pulled over, and I see how worse it gets every year, I mean, I can immediately put my son in his, you know, in his 18-year-old future life in that position, and that's just scary. That's just fucking scary.
We're 101% on the exact same page on that fact. And that was, you know, I'm a 58-year-old man, and my son looked at me and he said, why are you doing this now? Like, what are you going to change? What are you going to get out of it? He's like, you're risking. No, my son's telling me this. He's like, you're risking. He's 35. He's like, you're risking everything. He's like, we have a home, you have a life, you have a career, you're a business owner. He's like, you're risking everything. Why would you do it? And I have the exact same answer as you, for my posterity, for my grandchildren, for my children. Because if they can do it to me, they can and they will do it to them, and worse, because it'll never get better. It'll only get worse unless somebody stands in the gap and tries to make the changes that are necessary in order to, you know, to fight tyranny and to, you know, to stand against evil. And, you know, so I'm in it 100% for the exact same reasons that you are. This has cost me, I got 10,000 subs. I ain't made shit on YouTube, and I probably spent between 25 and 30 grand of my own money in this freaking endeavor. You know, I'd be lucky to say that I've made $3,000 back from it. So, you know, this is not a venture of 15 minutes of fame or 15 bucks for me. This is my legacy. Don't have much time left on this earth. This is the legacy that I want to leave, that I did something to stand up to tyranny. I mean, the way I look at things is, you know, we had a revolution. It was a great idea. It was a wonderful experiment, and now we've just pissed it all away, and we might as well just give it all back to Britain and just start worshiping King Charles, because I mean, that's how quick we are as a society to just give all of these gains that we fought for, that, you know, that our forefathers and that everyone that has fought, bled, and died for freedom. We just, you know, my fellow Americans are just not just willing to piss it away and look the other way, but actually run to the aid and support government in their tyranny. And it makes me sick. And that's, you know, those are the reasons that I'm involved in this, and I'm going to call it a movement. Those are the reasons that I'm involved in this movement. I want to leave a legacy. This is the legacy I want to leave. I did my part. I've been in handcuffs 3 times. You know, I've you know, been to jail 3 times. And like you said, all since I started recording and documenting police and government misconduct, with the exception of that, you know, one charge 30 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I've never experienced the kinds of things that I've experienced with the legal system since I started recording it. You've been arrested 3 times. I mean, I've sat in a jail cell at least 20 times, and I've been arrested like 22 or 23 times. So, I mean, I'm very familiar with the problems in our country. And, you know, if my attitude and my felony record are the worst things that could be said about me, then that's not shit. There's a lot of people in this movement that are detracting from the seriousness that you were just talking about. I mean, the seriousness, the legacy, the need to do this because of, you know, the shifts in America that are obvious and aren't getting any better. You can see it at your age, especially at your age. So you know damn well that things aren't getting better. And even with the last 10, 15 years of people recording the police, it hasn't gotten any better. It's not getting any better. Nobody is making any change, and nothing is getting better. That's the problem that I have. I've only been doing this for like maybe 4 years. 4 years straight. And even in the 4 years that I've been doing this, nothing has changed. It's only gotten worse. There's things that make it seem like there's change, like, oh, well, now there's new training, but they're not training people on the First Amendment. They're training people on how to deal with me. You know what I mean? When people win lawsuits, you're not creating fucking change. You're enriching yourself. And when you're not enriching yourself off of a settlement, I'm not saying you, I'm just speaking in general. So please forgive me if it sounds like I'm talking directly to you. But when you're not enriching yourself, and you win a lawsuit and you create some case law, do they listen to the fucking case law the next day, a week later, a month later? No. The person is still getting fucking arrested. Nothing is changing. Nobody takes any of the shit that we're doing serious. I mean, Philip Turner's a perfect example. He went through years of struggle in the courts, spent a lot of money to create case law that made it so the government shouldn't be able to fuck with people when there's somebody outside recording or in a government building, right? And since 2018, when that went on the books, how many fucking people are getting arrested in Texas for the same exact shit while quoting Turner versus Driver, dude? Nothing's fucking changing. They don't care. They laugh at us. You know what I'm saying? Why?
Well,
it's very disheartening.
it is. I see it, and our forefathers saw it, and that is the reason. And let me make this disclaimer: I am a nonviolent advocate. I do not believe that the solution to this problem is violence in any form, in any way, or any manner. But I'm going to make this point of fact. Our forefathers disagree with me. They believe that the only way to combat this is through violence, and that is the reason that we have a Second Amendment. Those are not my words, those are their words. It is the fact, it is a historical fact. And they knew that the only way to make change was through violence. And that is the reason why Thomas Jefferson said what he said. And I'll make the disclaimer again, just so that everybody is absolutely perfectly clear. I am not an advocate of violence, and I do not advocate for violence against government. But our forefathers did. That is a historical fact. It's no surprise to them, and it is no surprise to me that it's not changing. But people like me, and it seems like people like you, we're still doing the best that we can and working towards change. And I agree 100%. We have Cohen v. California. Cohen v. California was a case that I'm sure you're aware of, where somebody wore a T-shirt that said "fuck the draft." It's a U.S. Supreme Court case, and they considered that, because one of the things that they argued in Cohen v. California was we have an obligation to protect the sensibilities of women and children from such an offensive word. And the U.S. Supreme Court said no. The First Amendment and the importance of protecting the freedom of speech supersedes any obligations that we have in protecting the sensibilities of women and children. And to your point, how many people do we still see get arrested for using foul language in public? So yeah, I concede all of your points, with a couple of disagreements on some minor stuff. But I'm glad you came in. I'm glad you were able to clarify a lot of this stuff. And you are right. I'm ignorant because I don't spend a whole lot of time watching your channel or any other channel from start to finish. So I form my opinions based on limited information, and hope that I can. I'm happy that you came on to discuss this thing with me, and maybe clarify some of the questions that other people have had as well. Although I got 10K and I got nobody in here because I labeled this a test.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of people are going to see it as drama, and it's not drama at the end of the day. It's really not. If a good example of that is if we weren't doing activism stuff in America, and it didn't have like long-term effects, and it wasn't important, like if we were doing podcasts about celebrities or making joke videos on YouTube or, you know, some kind of farmsteading shit, and we were in that niche, and then we were just talking about, well, he did this, and then he reported this guy's videos, then it would be that would be drama, because it doesn't have any effects long term. You guys are bitching about people reporting videos, and you guys are fucking out pranking people. Who cares? You know what I mean? That sounds like drama. But when you know, we are actively trying to have an effect on our country for the future of our children, that's a little bit fucking different. The people behind the YouTube channels, everything that they do fucking matters. Everything that they do fucking matters. The kind of person that they are. That's why I'm saying I'm not opposed to being lumped into this group of people that I'm trying to define. The line that I'm trying to draw, I'm okay with being on the left side of it and not the right side. As long as it's a definitive line and we know what's going on. Because if I can help define a line that a lot of people don't have the balls to do right now, or are scared because they don't want to mess their YouTube channels up, which I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. But if I can help define this line, and even if I end up on the opposite side that I want to end up on, I'm cool with that, because I know that now I've made a line, and these people are going to be doing the right thing. These people are going to be taken serious, and maybe that future for my children is a little bit more of a reality now. Because if I keep going in the direction that I'm going, nothing. I mean, dude, who the fuck else is going to have some balls to stand up and start calling the weirdos out amongst us and the people that make us fucking look bad? I mean, it's hilarious when we want the cops to, you know, when you put in a complaint on a cop, you want to get him found guilty. You talk to the Post or something, and and they don't find them guilty. They find the complaints unsubstantiated, and everybody gets all butthurt, like, whoa, why are we gonna ask them to police themselves when they find themselves not guilty? I mean, essentially, that's what we're doing all the fucking time. Whenever somebody points out somebody that does something wrong, and then that dude gets attacked for pointing it out, we're just supposed to hug and accept each other. We're doing this for a bigger purpose. Like, bro, that kind of shit is such ass backwards thinking. Like, you can't just be accepting of everybody. That's you can't have outsiders looking into your group or your movement and have them think that you're serious about everything when you got a bunch of weirdos mixed in amongst you.
So you kind of went a different direction of people that you say are hurting, you know, and are hurting the cause, or are detracting from what you and I are trying to do. I've never really kind of latched onto that the way that you did.
What do you mean? What do you mean? I'm not following that.
For the same reasons that you're saying that people are detracting from what we're trying to do, I kind of went a different direction, and I was looking at the people that are like the grifters, the people that are just the restreamers, the freaking content thieves, the people that are just taking our stuff and making a profit off of it. What do you think about those guys? Do you think that we need to, as a group of like you and I, do you think
I
that
don't.
people like you and I need to draw a line against people like that, or
No,
is that
because
okay?
if you don't have, as much as I don't like San Joaquin Valley transparency and the shit that he pulled with me, he's necessary. At the end of the day, what he does is necessary, just like Lackluster and the other people that share content. Because without those channels, like mine wouldn't be at 300,000 followers right now. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to get into this space. It's hard to get into YouTube at all and get any kind of traction. Like you say, I only got 10,000 followers, but bro, that's a fucking lot of followers on YouTube. Like there are people that will look at your channel and think that it's huge, because it's hard to get 10,000 followers on YouTube unless you have an in like what we've created in this little genre. The making money part, I'm kind of with you on that. And how many people do you have in your chat right now?
7.
Okay, so I'll kind of keep this. It's a small chat. I'm sure somebody could screen record this and shit. But I'll tell you what I do personally, and this isn't something I advertise because it's none of nobody's fucking business what I do personally. But when I share people's content, generally, I try to reach out to them and I give them a percentage of whatever I make off of their content if it goes up on my channel. That's not something I brag about. That's not something I tell people about. The only time I've ever told anybody about this, and I'm telling you on your live, are the people whose videos I've shared. So, I'm kind of with you on that. When my content got shared when I first blew up, I know that there was tens of thousands of dollars getting made off my shit, my hard work, and I didn't see a dime of it. But I couldn't really bitch because my channel grew, right? It would have been nice if somebody was like, "Hey man, I made 10 grand. Here's $200." You know what I mean? But it never really happened like that. So that's where my mentality in that space developed. So nowadays, I actively go out of my way to kick back some of whatever the direct channel profits off of somebody else's content while I'm growing their channel. That way,
Yeah,
that kind
and
of complaints like that right there, nobody can say that kind of shit about me, because I kind of do agree with you, and I've already thought about it, and I don't have a problem coughing up, 10, 20% of what a video makes when it took me 8 hours to put it together. I didn't have to drive anywhere. I didn't have to deal with no police. You know what I mean?
yeah, well, like it was pointed out to me that there's some on San Joaquin's channels, and I don't know about yours personally, but San Joaquin has some of over 1 million hits, and obviously he's made a buck or two on stuff like
A,
that. And we were
a
wondering if
buck or
he gave
two.
anything. Yeah, right. We were
He
wondering if
gives
he
he gives
gave,
back. Yes,
does he
he
give it
gives
back
back.
to the channels? Okay.
No, not like what I'm talking about. He doesn't. It's not specific like that. Like if somebody hits him up, for about something, he'll send him $200. He's got PayPal money that he does give away. I mean, I'm not gonna completely bash the dude. He does help people when it comes around, but no, he's not giving back to every channel when he's sharing shit. And that's another mentality. So that's something that I kind of noticed. I don't know if he's doing that, but I know that there are people that will prey is probably the wrong word, but prey is the best way to describe it. Prey on smaller channels that are not monetized and share their content because, they're not monetized, and it's easier to get away with making money, excuse me, on a video that's not monetized and hasn't been seen a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If it's a good video, obviously people want to share it, but there's a few. And I don't even know who runs a lot of these channels nowadays, dude. There's so many pop-up channels that are just, grabbing content and sharing it. I have no fucking clue who's running them, but there's definitely a lot of that going on.
Yeah.
And
There's some dude out in
they're preying on
California.
who?
I think he's a friend of San Joaquin. I'm having a freaking 58-year-old brain fart right now. Um, and I'm trying to remember the guy's channel, but he likes to say that he gets permission from all of the people that he does, that he restreams on. And I'm trying to reach out to some of the channels to verify, because I'm a complete and total fucking streamer thief and a grifter. And he's gone
That
out.
shit
He's done maybe one or two.
That shit pisses me off right there. So I will absolutely lose my shit over people sharing my content, not mentioning my channel name, not providing links. Like, you know what I mean? Straight up using my content, and then you go into the comments and people are like, "What channel? Whose channel is this? Where's the link?" That shit fucking pisses me off right there. Yeah. I absolutely cannot stand it. And I'll threaten people too. I'll complain if you don't put my link. You use my content all day long. I just want people to know where you found it at.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, and I've
a
had people
stickler
call
for
me
shit
out
like
too,
that.
because I do follow-ups, and there's been a couple of times when I forgot to put credit, to the original person, because I'll do a follow-up, and then I'll show a clip of the original interaction on the audit that the first person did. And yeah, some people have called me out and said, "Hey, where's the link to the original video?" I have to go back in there and say, "Oh, my bad, I forgot to throw that shit in there." I'll go back in there and I'll throw it up in there, but um, so
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing with that is it's really a personal thing, because YouTube's terms of service doesn't define that, and copyright, Section 107 of the Copyright Act does not require you to provide credit in that sense. So technically, they don't have to, as long as they're following the copyright. It's not even a law, but I'm going to say law because it's easier to understand. But the copyright laws, they don't technically have to give anybody credit, which I don't agree with. I don't agree with at all. I want my content to be given credit, and I would like to get, at least a percentage of what, because my fucking money, my videos make money on other people's shit, dude. I know for a fact that there's probably $100,000 that got made on Facebook alone that I didn't see a dime of because of content thievery, and that's where it happens the worst at is Facebook.
Right.
I guarantee you, I've seen that you don't have any videos public, but I guarantee you, if you ever recorded your own videos, you might not have them public on your channel right now, but they're all over Facebook.
No, this is a alt channel that I just relaunched after a couple of years. So my main channel is Sheep Show without the live. It just is Sheep Show. I've got over 100 videos on that channel, on my main channel. I think I got like 100 and maybe between 100 150 videos on that one. This one, yeah, on the Sheep Show without the live. But this one I just launched to do kind of longer panels and things like that. I don't have anything on this channel yet. So yeah, if you get a chance, and if you're bored, go check out my main channel, Sheep Show. And then
I've heard your channel name, mentioned like a lot over the years. So I know that you've been around for a while.
Yeah, I think I've been doing this for about 4 years. And who's that dude? High Desert, Community Watch. I've always turned me on to this kind of stuff, but I've always, I mean, I've got recordings of police on betas and on actual VHS camcorders, and
Damn.
I used to do police chase, and I used to throw my kids in the back seat of the car when we'd hear a helicopter, and I'd be like, "Get in the car," and chuck the kids in the back seat of the car, like we were in. We'd go chasing pursuits, and I'd have the big ass camcorder. I probably look like a member of the media with the camcorder on my shoulder, with the full VHS. And I've been doing this forever, but I didn't even know that this kind of YouTube niche existed until I saw a High Desert Community Watch video, and I was like, I watched that for about 6 months, and I was like, I got to do this. This is my calling. This is why I was born. This is what I was born to do. I got to get into this. But
that's another guy that is not a good person, makes us look bad, but everybody loves them.
Well, that's what I hear, and I'm very slow to judge people. I think I was probably pretty quick to judge you, but I'm usually very slow to. I'm usually pretty. Well, I'm usually pretty. Pretty.
I'm an acquired taste. It's pretty easy to either like me or not immediately.
Yeah, and I like to clown people, so I like to talk a lot of shit, clowning people, and I like to imitate you and people. I'm like, get the fuck off, get the fuck out of my chat. And I'm like, sorry, I went a little bit direct on you right there. I apologize. I didn't mean to do that, and it's just my personality. I don't mean nothing by it, but someday I'm sure I'll get socked in the mouth, but not today.
Online.
But yeah, I was born to do this kind of stuff, and I'm happy to do it, and I don't have any plans on stopping. But what I'm trying to say is, I was a family man. I got a business. I'm self-employed like you were. I know you had the tree business, and I got a mortgage to pay. I got bills to pay, so I can only do this, part-time. Right now, I'm sitting in my office, i.e. the truck, and I got to throw it in gear in about, probably another 15, 20 minutes and go back to work and, give Mr. Cooper that mortgage payment, at the end of the month and pay those bills. So I can only do this part time. I'm usually on the road, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks at a time before I go back to get in a couple audits,
Is your channel monetized?
Yeah, it is, and I'm trying to get this one monetized too. Which I only need a couple watch hours for this one. I'm gonna throw up some. I haven't
Okay.
had a lot of time, but I'm gonna throw up some. Probably throw up some playlists. I have maybe I probably 20 or 30
What do
lives
you
on this channel that I've
What do you know
made.
about the back ends of YouTube?
Probably not much. I'm a little bit behind the curve on technical stuff, but
So,
I know a little bit.
I mean, anybody that wants help with YouTube should feel free to send me an email and reach out. Um, I can show you how to better embed information into the metadata of your video when you upload it. Show you a better way to use tags in your videos, and then teach you how to increase revenue on whatever you're doing, whether it's a live stream or a video, by adding more ads in since you're monetized. Um, there's a lot to doing this thing on the internet right here that people don't understand, the back end that nobody really sees and nobody tells you about unless you Google around a whole bunch, or you figure it out on your own kind of shit. But stuff that can drastically increase the profitability and the viewability of your channel, because they go hand in hand. A lot of people don't understand that. If you're trying to get something across on YouTube and you want to get a lot of views, I mean, making sure that your video is monetized and following YouTube terms of service is like one of the most important steps to getting the views. Excuse me, getting the views and getting the attention that you want on the subject. You know what I mean? YouTube is all about the money. I mean, when we're talking about grifters and shit, YouTube's the biggest fucking grifter. If your videos aren't monetized, they don't give a shit about you, you know?
Yeah. No, and
The
I'm
more
terrible at that. I need to do better. I watched your thumbnail video, and I appreciate you putting that out there. And that was a big help for me. And I actually wasn't even making thumbnails until I saw your video. So I'm listening. Go ahead.
Damn, that was old.
Yeah.
That was old. I'm gonna be doing a new one. So I'm gonna do a new live stream where it's like hovering over my phone and show people how I do my editing, because if you can eliminate the time that it takes you to edit a video, then you can increase productivity, which increases channel growth. It increases fucking everything: revenue, views, subscribers, everything. Consistency on YouTube is important. To grow your shit quick, you got to post a video like every 2 to 4 days consistently. Every day is better, but yeah, dude, there's a lot to how YouTube works in like embedding information. So when you make a video and before you even post it on YouTube, you save the file name on your computer, and you use keywords that are triggered on YouTube. So, cops get owned by First Amendment auditor viciously or something. That's the file name of the video before you even upload it. You know what I mean? It's the metadata that you are including in the file that you upload to YouTube, giving YouTube more information on where to pump your video out to, all the way down to what you name the file that the video is in. You know what I mean?
I hear what you're saying. I didn't know that until now. That's a good one
Yeah.
for those of you out there. Make sure you rename. Don't leave your file name. Video number 1 or video number
No.
3. Change the file name to match.
Make it your title. The same, whatever you're
Yeah.
going to make the title of your video, name the file that. And then little tricks on thumbnail stuff, like where to put words in the thumbnail, how to get contrast with the words, the background, and the person you want to highlight. Where's a good place to put people? Like the bottom right corner of your thumbnail is a place you want to avoid for anything that you want seen, because most people are watching this shit on a phone. And when they're scrolling on feeds, the timestamp is covering up a large portion of the right bottom corner of people's fucking thumbnails. And when they put words down there, you can't even see what it says sometimes. So it's fucking up their click-through rate. Other little things like the first 4 words of your title are important. So if you go and you look at the titles on my channel, it's like "silly cop gets owned" or "this man owns cops." Like it's all of my titles, if you just pay attention to the first couple words, they're trigger words. They make you question, like, what the fuck are you talking about? Makes you want to click on it type stuff, you know? You don't want to give up too much information in your title or your thumbnail, because if you just start labeling everything, First Amendment auditor gets owned by the police and then gets arrested, like, you're essentially telling what the whole video is, and I don't even got to click on it. And if you're not even interested in that kind of shit, which, you know, most people aren't, they don't think that they are, they're not going to click on it. And that's how you don't grow your channel. So when you're more bland with shit, the people that aren't subscribed are going to be like, oh, that's interesting, let me click on it. And then they start watching it. And that's when you draw them in with the first 5 minutes of your video. The first 5 seconds are important, the first 15 seconds, the first 30, the first 60, and so on up to 5 minutes. If you can draw people into 5 minutes of your video, their brain will want to keep watching it because they've already invested so much. It's just psychology on shit like this. And if you watch my videos, you can kind of see what I'm talking about. The first 5 minutes of my videos is where the most heavily edited shit is that I do with my video to keep people watching. You know what I mean? And then thumbnails. So when you have a cop on a thumbnail, and then you're scrolling through feeds, and then you have the autoplay feature. So if you stop on something, the thumbnail will disappear and the video will start playing without sound. And that's YouTube's doing that to get people to click. So a good trick to do is whoever's on the thumbnail, have them be in the first 5 seconds or 15 seconds of the video. You know what I mean? So that way the thumbnail morphs into the person actually moving around. They're seeing the person on the thumbnail, and then they're immediately in the video. Little shit like that. Like, if you know, do you know what I'm saying? Like, if you use a cop that's highlighted as your thumbnail on a video, like, you want to have that cop in the first couple seconds of the video.
No, yeah, I understand. And even that's part of the algorithm, because like even on spider searches, if you try and post something like a video, and the description that you're posting is nowhere in the video, sometimes it'll automatically, you know, it won't push that out on the algorithm, is what I've heard before. And then, not to mention, sometimes, you know, people that are clicking on a thumbnail, that's the content that they want to see. So you click on a thumbnail to see that content, you don't find it within the first few seconds, and you don't continue to watch. You click back out. You keep on scrolling.
Right. Yeah. So a lot of the little techniques that I use are honestly stuff that I've learned from people that have analyzed channels like Mr. Beast and big YouTubers that are successful in understanding the algorithm, click-through rate, and retention rate and shit like that. So if you email me, there's a couple links that I can send you of some videos that put it into perspective very, very fucking well. It's almost like a point by point, step by step, do this, and it'll work. You know what I mean? That's how I figured some of this shit out, because I've asked people, and bro, I mean, I don't know if you pay attention, but I would say comfortably about 90% of the people that are in this genre of YouTube can't really edit for shit. I don't know if you've noticed that, but most folks can't edit, and that's a problem for growth and sustainability with what we're doing. This is another element. So another way I think that, besides sharing people's channels, that I can help is to literally live stream exactly how I edit, how I make thumbnails, show people how to do the back end on their YouTube channel, because I can help you grow your channel by getting you subscribers. You know, you teach a man to fish, you can feed him forever. But if you just give him a fish, you're only feeding him for the fucking day. You know what I mean? When you share somebody's videos, you're just giving them a fish. When I teach you how to fucking edit, now I'm teaching you how to fish. Make sense?
Yes.
I'm not giving you a fish anymore and feeding you for the day. I'm teaching you how to fucking catch your own. And that's the whole idea. Everybody that has ever fucking dealt with me behind the scenes, even including that's why San Joaquin Valley Transparency disowned me and stopped talking to me, is because I was telling him that you're doing this wrong. Your thumbnails suck. I mean, he wasn't lying when I said I was being an asshole to him. That's probably how he perceived it, as I was just... Dude calls me and says, oh, my channel's not doing good. I'm not getting views, and my money's not right. And I'm like, okay, well, since I'm your friend, let me tell you exactly what you're doing wrong. And I probably spent half an hour telling him that you're fucking everything up, and he didn't want to hear it. So But that's what I do, dude, behind the scenes. Every Arizona channel that I've been around or promoted that you've ever seen on my channel, I try to teach them everything that I'm doing so they can replicate it. Because if they're at 100,000 and I'm at 100,000, the cops are going to be a lot more nervous when there's 5 of us with YouTube channels that all have 100,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Here's a question for you. Are you using any AI editing yet, and how do you feel about that?
No, I haven't found an AI editor that I could integrate into my style of editing very seamlessly. I haven't found some. I don't know what's out there. I haven't really explored it. There's a few apps that you can like text and it'll create like a dialogue, and then it'll throw some pictures up there that kind of correspond with what's being said, and I just don't like the format.
Yeah, it's another learning curve that you probably have to abandon everything that you've been doing so far and
I don't want
start from
to do
scratch.
that. I don't want to fuck with the AI shit.
Hey, so I appreciate you coming on here, and I don't know how much longer I've got, and I don't want to forget because I've got what Katie has, can't remember shit. And I need to ask you a favor because you're the only big channel that's ever given me the time of day and bothered to say even hello to me. But I'm going to throw you a curveball here, and we're doing a fundraiser for a dog that needs help, and I've reached out to all of the channels.
No, that dude already he already burnt his bridge with me, posting some shit and calling me a fucking YouTube millionaire and go fuck myself and shit. Fuck that dude.
Okay, yeah, he's pretty pissed off because we were expecting a little bit more help from some of the bigger channels, and his dog's dying, and his dog is
I'll be
we
honest with
were
you. I'm the wrong person for that kind of thing. I don't share GoFundMe's for dogs. I mean, I'll share a GoFundMe for somebody's lawyer fees, or there's a lawyer in Michigan that just had breast cancer surgeries. I'll share her shit, but I'm not an animal person like that, and I have a problem sharing GoFundMe's that don't align with what I'm doing. Does that make sense? If you're not asking for lawyer money, I have a problem sharing a GoFundMe. I mean, the only time I've stepped outside of that is with the lawyer that just had multiple breast cancer surgeries, that's been helping this community. I mean, Catherine Henry. I don't know if you know who she is, but that's who I'm talking about. And she's represented a lot of channels, and I feel that she needs the help. But I'm not a dog person, bro. I don't. If my dog gets sick, I'm not spending $1,000 to get him fixed. I'd rather put him out of his misery and get another fucking dog, because it's just an animal to me.
all right. Well, I got a PayPal link on my channel, and go ahead and click that and give me a dono, and then I may or may not kick it down to the dog.
I don't even have fucking $100. Right? I don't even have $100 to my name right now to give to anybody.
Oh, well, where's all your money going?
Bro, I don't make money doing this. That's what people don't understand. This isn't my fucking YouTube channel. I know it's hard to grasp that, but when I realized that I was a target very early on, and that any kind of assets that I might strive to achieve and maintain in my life are going to be a target as well, then I just said, fuck it, I don't want nothing. I literally give everything away that I have. I mean, I get money for cigarettes and weed and the small comforts to make myself comfortable, but I don't own a car. I don't have any bank accounts. I haven't paid taxes since 2018 because I don't have a reason to. I don't own property. Nothing, dude. Nothing.
So I'm asking this question because I got viewers on here, and I'm sure that inquiring minds want to know, if you don't own the channel and your channel's making money, who's profiting off of your channel, and why are you still doing it?
The who is under a non-disclosure, so I mean, I couldn't tell you if I wanted to, or else I'm not going to be able to. You won't see Chris up here anymore. But I mean, this is fun for me. This isn't a job. Going live and hanging out, I mean, I do that at the end of the day after working around my property and hanging out with my kids. There's no, I mean, cop watching and shit. That was all funded by doing all this shit. It's fun. It's something I enjoy doing. So as long as I have cigarettes, as long as I have weed to smoke, you know, a coffee in the morning or a Monster when I want it, and food in my stomach and a place to sleep, dude, I don't give a fuck about nothing. I'm not a material type person. I don't need things in my life to be happy. I've got my kids and, you know, like I said, coffee and cigarettes in the morning. So outside of that, I don't give two fucks. If somebody else is profiting off of what I'm doing, more power to them.
Yeah, that's where, you know, you and I, that's where we go in completely different directions, because if I can't, you know, complete the process from beginning to end of holding government accountable, albeit um maybe just spitting in the wind and ineffective. I want to go through the process. I want to go through the motions. Every single cop that's put me in handcuffs is going to have a civil lawsuit filed against them, whether it gets thrown out of court, whether I get laughed out of court, whether I get held in contempt of court. Every single solitary cop that puts his greedy, fucking disgusting pig hooves on me and seizes me and puts me in handcuffs is going to face me in fucking court and in a deposition. And, you know, I don't care how long it takes me to learn the process on how to do that, but I'm going to follow that process through from beginning to end. I have two so far right now. The lawyer from the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department just emailed me because we need to get started with trial conference setting. I just emailed her back because we need to get started with depositions, because I want to get those fucking pigs in a seat and depose those dirty fucking bastards. But if I don't fuck the fun. I mean, I don't understand how going to jail can be fun, and I don't understand your mindset on how you think that that's winning. I mean, how is that
Well,
fucking winning? Letting them, I mean, that's like, I don't know.
You're not
What?
winning. You're not winning when you win a lawsuit either. I mean, you might be personally winning when you get a settlement, but you're not winning any more than I am.
Oh, I feel
Nothing
good.
has changed. I know you feel good, which is great. If that's what makes you feel better, then more power to you. I'm not knocking you suing them and shit like that. I
It
have
does.
never sued.
It's the
I
taxpayers that voted for that fucking pig sheriff that I have in my county. The taxpayers are the ones that are sitting on the fucking jury sending us to jail. The taxpayers don't give a flying fuck about the First Amendment or the fact
no,
that we get railroaded
no.
in court systems. So if I can take $1 from a fucking taxpayer, I go to sleep, lay my head on my bed, and I feel like I've done something good. And as a matter of fact, I don't even smoke weed, but I mean, someday I just might go out and spend some of that taxpayer money on some weed in a dope shop and go live and smoke it and thank the fucking taxpayers, you know, for getting me high for the first time in my entire fucking life.
I'm
So,
gonna
you know,
do that too.
I just completely.
I don't think I haven't explained what's really going on, so I can understand you're not understanding my mentality. It is fun, but there's a bigger picture. So like I said, suing them personally doesn't change nothing. Like I've got a different mode. Like everything that I've experienced, all the arrests that I've eaten it's all evidence towards something else. Um, right now I'm in a court battle with the state for access to my emails, and it's one of the most unique cases that has come into Arizona court systems in like the last 20 years. Like the courts don't even know how to deal with what we're doing right now. And this is going to create some waves in the state that might actually have an effect. So that's why I'm focusing on this kind of a court battle rather than just suing the cops. There's no money that's going to come out of my current court battle, but it will establish protections for journalists and citizens in the state of Arizona from the police getting access to their emails so willy-nilly. That's why I'm pursuing this. Hopefully, who knows in 10 years if they're just going to say fuck that case law and let's do it anyway. But you know, this kind of thing has never happened in my state, so that's why I'm focusing on it, because this is going to leave legacy for me. And like you said earlier, that's precisely what I'm hunting for. I'm not interested in suing a cop and in making some little case law or getting a payment out. My thoughts are more along the lines of a Monell claim and hitting the municipality that doesn't have qualified immunity, that I don't need a timeline for, and that, you know, they can't pull a bunch of bullshit in the courtroom over a single cop. Now I get to call in every single cop from that department over the course of the last 5 years to testify in my Monell claim. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want to do. I'm trying to go after their deep municipal pockets. Like, yeah, fuck the taxpayers. You're absolutely right. What you just said is my same mentality. When I hit them with the Monell claim, and I'm going. What I wanted to do is either give some of my money away to like the lawyer that helped me win the case, and record myself like just giving somebody 50 grand or 100 grand in cash, or just buying them a Porsche or something, and saying and like rubbing it in the nose of the taxpayer. Like, I just wanted you guys to know that this was your tax dollars that you spent hours at work working for and paid to the government so they could give it to me and I could burn it or give it to this guy and buy him a Porsche just for the fuck of it so I could waste your money. Because I don't care about the fucking money at all. Not at all. I've already told my lawyer, like, so I don't know, you know, James Freeman. James Freeman's lawyer in New Mexico is Zach Cook. Zach Cook is a friend of mine who's been trying to get his reciprocity to practice in Arizona for the last year. I'll give you some insight into what I've been doing. Me and Zach are going to try and create a practice here in Arizona so we can do exactly what I just told you. We're going to hit them with Monell claims. The FOIA, the public records laws in Arizona are very well established and defined, but yet every single body in Arizona will violate those. And the attorney fees on public records lawsuits in Arizona can be fucking astronomical. So yeah, I'm not necessarily interested in suing an individual cop or doing none of that, because I've experienced the system to the point where I understand that, yeah, the cops are fucking, most of them are pieces of shit. Not all of them, but most of them are pieces of shit. But they're pieces of shit because they're allowed to be pieces of shit because of the municipalities that they work for, the sheriffs that they work under, the city council members. That's why my mind frame is towards Monell claims and fucking with them on public records lawsuits, is because that's where I'm really going to have an effect at, in my opinion, and in my state. They won't give a shit if I sue a cop. They'll just, you know what I mean? They just, it won't mean anything. It won't. I've seen over the course of the years, I've seen dudes sue police officers and then go back out and record and still get arrested. You know what I mean? There's nothing really changes. You're not, it doesn't keep the cops from arresting you. It doesn't keep other people safe. I mean, I don't know, dude. These are my opinions after watching this shit for so long. Because I had written up a couple lawsuits the first couple times I got arrested, and I talked to several different people in the beginning that told me, like, yeah, you got strong cases, but you're going to spend years doing this and a lot of money, and it's not. Then that's when I learned about the Monell claim. That's not going to be worth it. A better way to hit him is to, you know, spend some time building up evidence, patterns and practices of you know, policies and procedures that aren't on the books or are on the books that tend to violate citizens' rights. Build up a history of collecting that kind of evidence, and then hit them in the deep pockets, the municipal pockets, where you can hit the bond money of the city and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's my mentality.
There's a whole lot of avenues. There's policy changes. You know, I get what you're saying, and that is definitely a viable avenue. And there's nothing wrong with focusing on that and pursuing that. I like I really enjoyed getting into the legal aspect of it. I wish I could, you know, rewind my life maybe 10 years, and I might consider, you know, going to law school. As much as I hate school, as much as I struggle with, you know, the tediousness of formal education, it is something that I thoroughly enjoy. I've already enjoyed this ride of learning how to navigate, you know, just the simple steps, which aren't so simple. of a trial of serving the sheriff's department and doing the and serving the summons and serving them both in their official capacity and their private capacity. And I'm going to enjoy going to, one of the games that the sheriff's department likes to play is they like to refuse service in their individual capacity at the sheriff's department. So I'm going to be enjoying going to some of the deputies' houses and sitting outside their houses, and and trying to find their habits when they come and go, and serving them at their house, rather than at the sheriff's department. So these are all these little games that they like to play that I like to learn how I can kind of navigate around them, and at the same time have fun doing them, and maybe change the system. Maybe, when I start showing up at their houses, maybe they'll stop playing games and start accepting service, for in their individual capacity at the sheriff's department, which, a couple of them have already done. But this is fun for me, suing them, and I've never done a deposition, and I'm looking forward to being able to do it. So, and record it, and then make it part.
Lined up.
Yep, absolutely. I got the armed fisherman. I've been watching quite a few videos. I've been learning been doing quite a bit of reading, and those are coming pretty quick. So I'll be having those on my channels. But hey, I want to play a little bit of Godfather with you, and I don't want to kick a dead horse. And you've already made yourself clear, but I want to play a little bit of Godfather with you here, and I'm going to ask you for a favor, and then maybe someday I can owe you a favor. I don't know what I could ever do for you. Maybe next time you move, I could pull up with a 53-foot trailer in front of your house and help you move in one shot. I don't know what I could ever do for you, but I just want to ask you, maybe consider throwing that GoFundMe link to that dog up on your channel as a favor to me. That dog's nuts are getting ready to fall out, and I'm losing sleep over that damn dog. So I just want you to consider maybe, doing it as a favor to me, just throwing the link up to the fundraiser on your community page for me, to my channel. And if I can ever do you a favor, I'll owe you a favor, and maybe you can hit me up. And, you feel free to be clear on there and say, listen, I'm doing this as a personal favor. I mean, if you decide to do it, feel free to be clear. Listen, I'm doing this as a personal favor. It's a one-time deal. If anybody ever asks me to do a GoFundMe, I'm telling you right now to fuck off. And I'm telling the dog's owner to fuck off too. So
here's what I will do is, if your buddy sends me an email and apologizes, then I'll share the link on my community page.
I will ask him. him.
You're not gonna talk shit to me and then I share your shit. I don't do that. I don't play little kid games like that. The dude has no reason to bump his gums about me. I never said nothing. Just because I ignored his email and didn't share his post, now I'm some fucking YouTube millionaire that's too good for him. Like, fuck that.
Well, let me just I don't want to make excuses for him. I don't want to make any excuses for him, and I'm gonna ask him. He's like really like. I mean, this dog is this dog that he loves is literally bleeding out in front of his eyes every single night, and he's just frustrated, and he's just so I'm going to ask him to do that. I'm going to ask him to do that today. And thank you. I appreciate that.
I get it. I had a friend of mine whose dog died, and I literally didn't talk to him for probably 8 months because it just made him a weirdo. Yeah. Somebody with no kids, and his dogs are basically his kids. So I don't have that mentality, so I can't level with people like that about pets. I've got kids, you know what I mean? I can think like that with my kids, not with a dog, dude. It's just weird for me.
I hear you, and I don't have that mentality either, and I don't know, and I don't want to get into the weeds and have you start calling me a freaking crazy bastard, but for some reason this dog, I made a stupid ass video about this dog, and I got emotional watching the video that I made about this fucking dog, and I love this dog now, and I agree with you. I could give two rats asses about animals, except for my own. I did put one dog down, and I did cry over that dog, but other than that, I'm really not a bleeding heart for animals. And it's kind of like, and I've told many people, full disclosure here, I've told many people, why are you keeping that fucking dog alive? Why don't you just put it down? When my mother died, part of her last wishes in her will was, when I die, my dog is old and it's sick. I want you to put the dog down with me. And I was over there at the vet, putting the dog down day one, and the dog looked healthy, and people were getting all crazy with me because I was clowning people in the vet. And these old women were in there, and they were saying, like, why are you putting the dog down? And I was telling them, because the son of a bitch won't sit. Like, I've been trying to train this son of a bitch for 4 months, and she won't sit. I've had it with this dumb bitch, and everybody in the freaking was like going ape shit, and the vets knew why I had her there, and they kept telling me, stop it, like, stop getting these people riled up. And I was having the best time with it. And and my mom loved that dog, and I gave two shits about that dog. I just knew that the dog was sick, and my mom told me it wasn't going to last long, and those were her last wishes. So when my mom died, I took her to the vet, and I had her put down. So I get you. I don't have a bleeding heart for animals either, but I got a bleeding heart for El Guapo. So I'm going to reach out to him today, and I'm going to ask him to do that.
Yeah, that's cool. What's people saying? I pray and hope it's just a rumor. Is it true about SGV? What the fuck?
What's going on with SGV? Somebody,
I don't know.
Somebody come up and elaborate. The last I know about SGV was that he was going back out with PLA again live this weekend.
Who's PLA?
Pedro Libre Audits, the one he does all of his audits with.
Yeah. Katie, since you're in the chat right now, I have some advice for you. I like you, and I would like to share your channel, but part of the problem with me not sharing your channel is you guys going to banks and in private businesses and doing that kind of thing. I know it's been talked about a lot, but that's going to be something that gets brought up on my channel eventually, is how that kind of thing definitely detracts from what we're trying to do. And, I don't see you doing it on your own. So I kind of feel like maybe you're tagging along with other people that are doing that. Maybe. I don't know. But just some advice that shit don't
See,
look.
now, can we talk about that? Because I'm 100% for that. I'm 100%. I'm 100% in support of that. And I just drew a basic red line in the sand. Them going to private businesses and banks and shit like that, and doing private businesses and things like that.
Well, it's totally legal, and I mean, there's nothing technically wrong with it. But the problem with doing that kind of thing, it's not in the same category as the shit that I was talking about, but it is kind of, because when the police show up to a situation like that, they're telling everybody these are First Amendment auditors, and nobody's happy about what's happening. So like, let's just take a Starbucks, for example. You're standing out on a sidewalk recording a Starbucks for whatever reason, who cares? And everybody that goes through the line or stays there and deals with the police is going to be told that you're a First Amendment auditor, and they're not happy about it. Hey, can you help me out here? If you, I mean, I'll come in and get it. Thank you. They're a First Amendment auditor, and it leaves a bad taste in everybody's mouth. So the mentality with it being a negative thing is everybody that leaves there is not leaving there being educated, in the sense that, it's being portrayed on the internet. Everybody that leaves there, that's not a police officer or a government official, is leaving there with like a bad taste in their mouth about these First Amendment auditors. And those people are leaving, and they're talking to other people in their lives about their experience. And I mean, one incident could blossom into, and I say incident, but one video or First Amendment audit could blossom into, 50 to 150 people having this negative connotation associated with First Amendment and the First Amendment auditors. And that kind of thing does not help what we are doing. I mean, when you just got to think of scenarios where, like in California, you have somebody that goes out and cop watches only, but then they go to court, and the lawyers and the judges in the backroom chatter are saying, oh, these are one of those guys that go to businesses and mess with people that are out on the sidewalk eating lunch. Like, it doesn't help. That kind of shit does not help at all. I support somebody's right to go stand there and do that kind of thing, but you shouldn't be saying you're doing a First Amendment audit, because that's you're That's a reaction. You're looking for a reaction. I mean, and I'm not opposed. I do the same thing with a flashlight when I drive around and I flash cops. But I'm not fucking with people that are not government officials. I'm not pissing people off that are going to go and tell 20 of their friends that they had this encounter with this fucking stupid YouTuber that just recorded me while I was trying to get my Starbucks. Like, you got to think about the long-term effects. I totally support somebody's right to do that shit. It's just, you're not helping anything with the First Amendment. That's why, watching the Watchmen and Amagansett Press, they're not First Amendment. They don't even call themselves that kind of shit anymore because they know they're not doing that kind of shit. They're standing outside, they're looking for reactions. They're doing public photography. I mean, whatever else you want to call it, I don't have a problem with that, but we need to stop fucking associating the two because it's hurting the other people that aren't doing that kind of thing in it. And, as much as you might understand that it's okay and I might understand that it's okay, that's not the bigger perspective.
Right. And intellectually, real quick, let me just answer your question from earlier. Some people are saying that SGV died in a car accident. So that's unconfirmed. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if it's just trolls or what, but that's what they were talking about SGV earlier. And intellectually, 100%, I get and I comprehend your argument and your rationale for why you think that people should not do that, i.e., private businesses.
Do it. It's not about not doing it. It's just stop calling it a First Amendment audit because it's not. It's not.
Gotcha. But I've done that in the past, i.e., let's say a car wash from the public sidewalk. And I'm using car wash, and I'll go in just next, but churches is not as applicable because I have a different reason for doing churches. But a car wash on the public sidewalk. And my rationale for doing that I've publicly stated in response to criticism for it is it's a means to an end. I'm not auditing the car wash. I don't give a fuck, pardon my language, about how they wash cars. I could care less about who gets what car wash at the car wash. I'm auditing the police response to being engaged in lawful activity on the public sidewalk that my fellow Americans, and I use that term loosely, don't like and call law enforcement on me in order to get me to stop. So it's a means to an end. I am hoping that law enforcement gets called so that I can audit their response to a bunch of crybaby bitches complaining that I have a camera on a public sidewalk. And that's my motivation and my mentality for doing it. Number one, that's part one. Part two, and I'm not trying to get preachy here, I'm trying to give context. I'm a born again Christian, and I have a lot of issues with street preachers on the public sidewalk holding up signs that say, repent or go to hell. And I don't believe that leads anybody to any kind of faith. I think that absolutely repulses people and makes people get as far away from any organized religion as they possibly can. I believe it's counterproductive. Yet, having said that, I 100, and I know you agree with, I know you're making the same claim. You're not saying that they shouldn't be able to do it. Yet, even though I am their method and their message, I 100% support their First Amendment right to do it. And I know you said you do as well. But that's my mentality for doing, public businesses. Is, to me, it's a means to an end. I want them to call the cops, and I want to audit the response.
Okay, but you have to also weigh the effect. There's a positive and negative effect to everything that we're doing, especially when we do it publicly. And when you're creating adversary to what we're doing while you're trying to complete your means to your end, then, I mean, what good is it doing then?
I have some ideas about your concerns, and
here's how I think.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, I have some ideas on how to address some of the concerns that you're bringing up and some of the issues that you have, and how to try and maybe fix some of that maybe misconception by the public and how some of the people that we're talking about detract from First Amendment auditing. And I'll email that over to you, and then you can let me know what you think about that. But these are just some things that I've been wanting to launch.
Here's my mentality on that. So to eliminate my complaint altogether, I've thought about how to do that, because obviously you can't complain about something for the most part and not have some sort of a solution. So my solution to that is, instead of creating adversary, so when the business owner comes out and says, "What are you doing?" tell them exactly what the fuck you're doing, instead of playing the "I'm doing a story for la 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 la" with the lines, and then or the just straight up, "I don't have to tell you, it's none of your business. I'm on the sidewalk. Fuck off." Like, that's the problem that I have. If everybody that showed up and was doing these private business things, like, and I'm going to go on an extreme kind of end for this, but the perfect scenario is somebody that goes to show up and wants to audit Starbucks. And they carry with them some information type pamphlets, a piece of paper that they printed out and they folded up, and they've got a couple of them. And the employees or customers that walk up to them and ask them what they're doing, they can say, "Here's what I'm doing. Here's my channel name. Here's my name. I'm exercising my rights. I'm kind of curious if you guys are going to be okay with it, or if you're going to call the police on me. And then when the police get here, I'm going to see how they respond." You know what I mean? Just complete and utter transparency. Like, not, and I'm not saying the same thing with like going into a post office or something. I'm talking about just private businesses where, that kind of thing wouldn't even be expected normally. Like government buildings, they send out memos and they warn them, you should know that they're coming. But these other places, if they were just like, "Hey, this is what we're doing. This is my channel name." I mean, maybe not their actual name, but most journalists, if we're going to call ourselves journalists, cough up their fucking name as soon as they're asked. That's part of being a journalist, So when people are like, who are you? What are you doing?" And the whole evasive and creating conflict that's what's not helping. But if somebody didn't do any of that, bro, I couldn't have nothing to bitch about. You're exercising your rights. You're being respectful. When people come up and ask you what you're doing, you're telling them, because they're not government officials and they probably don't have a fucking clue what you're doing. Think about how many stupid comments we get on our videos and in our chats and shit, dude. Like, "Well, you were being mean to the officer, so you should have got arrested." Like, these people are stupid. And they're even stupider when you go out in real life and they never get on the internet and they don't watch YouTube. So yeah, they have no idea what you're doing out there when you're recording, for the most part. They have no fucking idea. So it immediately creates conflict. And if these individuals were like, "Well, hold on. I'm, the First Amendment, I'm a constitutionalist, I'm a YouTuber, here's my YouTube channel. I'm and just straight up telling them, I'm just out here to record in public, like I'm allowed to do, to see if you're going to call the police. And then if you do, I want to see how the police respond when they get here. You know what I mean, man? Here's my card. Have a good day." But that shit doesn't, I don't ever see that happening. I don't. Maybe it has and I've missed it, but I don't see that happening. Now,
First
granted, it
Amendment
can't go
rights
like
does
that.
that.
Huh? Okay.
First
So if
Amendment
there is,
rights.
okay, good.
Yeah, they got a whole sheet printed up on what they're doing, and
that's
yeah.
excellent, dude. I wish more people would do that, because then it wouldn't leave a bad taste in people's mouth. You know what I mean? What bad could you say? What could be fucking? That's the whole point. What could you say negative about what they're doing when you do it like that? Nothing, dude. You're just being a crybaby at that point. Then you could call me a crybaby if I'm bitching about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I'll give you a little bit of some, because I'm getting ready to do something that maybe I could provide you some context for, and of course, you're obviously free to disagree with me, and great thing about you is nobody has to wonder what you're thinking, and I don't mean that in a negative way. It's just a fact. But
yeah.
I've been watching, and you reference somebody at a post office, fucking making my ears bleed, repeating the same shit, 1,000 times. I'm exercising my First Amendment right, and blah 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 blah. And it's like
Jesus,
I'm just watching how that just it's falling on deaf ears, and nobody is really. It's not resonant. It may be 1 out of 100 people that resonates with, but I have a different, my belief is that this is about the majority of people who are getting into conflict with us, and it's not a large percentage of people, it's a small percentage of people. It's about
Mhm.
power and manipulation and control. Yes, it's rooted in ignorance. It's rooted in them not understanding what we're doing, and you're absolutely correct that maybe we would be able to reach them if we just explain what we're doing. But everything that I've seen says that that doesn't work. That explain because they don't because the majority of them don't give a shit
You
why we're doing what we're doing. They just want us to stop.
okay, you're right. You're right. In the moment, the people that in real time that are going to come up to a cameraman and have problems and shit like that are exactly like that. I agree with you, but those people don't matter. It's the other people that are watching that don't say anything, that are trying to perceive something that you don't hear from. And those people aren't going to have anything negative to think about when you're doing the way I suggest that people do it. And that's my whole point, is the perception from people that watch, bro. I mean, these videos, even if they get 10,000 views on a First Amendment audit, that's potentially 10,000 people that just saw, you know, somebody go and stand outside of a bank or a Starbucks or something and just create conflict in their opinion because that's all that they saw. You know what I mean?
Well,
So
yeah,
I know that it does matter, but it doesn't, because it doesn't matter to certain people. There is always going to be that group that just doesn't give a fuck. They just don't like what we're doing. I have absolutely seen those people. No amount of explaining can change their mentality, and
exactly.
they're always going to exist. But it's a very small amount. It's a very small amount of people. But those small amount of people are the vocal ones. They're the ones that are manipulating the other people that are just watching or telling them shit, you know? And if the people that are just watching like are seeing something different than what people are just crying about, that's what I'm saying. If you have nothing to, what can you be crying about? Those same people that don't care are now going to be the crybabies. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, he's going
Yeah.
in there, he's doing his rights, he's not fucking with nobody, he's not creating conflict. What are you bitching about? You know what I mean?
I think based on my comment in this panel right here right now, I think I might adjust my plans in auditing going forward, because my original plan was I don't believe that these people, it's about power manipulation and control with them. They don't give a shit why I'm doing it. They just want me to stop, and they're willing to use violence against me to make me stop. And therefore,
Right.
my personal experience has been, more often than not, when I try to take the time to explain to them, either they still don't get it or they do get it and still disagree. So I've just wasted all of that time. My my plan going forward was just to troll the fuck out of these people, and just do what I like to do and turn everything into a joke, and just troll them, with ridiculous answers to their questions, and and document their response to my, like, for example, I just give you an example. One of the response that I'm thinking in my twisted head is when they come up and they ask what my purpose is. Well, my purpose is it's um what is it? It's ODC, overt data collection. And they're like, well, what is that? Well, it's facial recognition. I'm collecting faces, and I sell them to the CCP. I sell them to the Chinese Communist Party, and I get like a nickel a piece for them, and I'm making a pretty good living at this shit, and I get like a nickel a piece. And I just want to thank you for talking to me, because if I get the voice to match the face, I actually get a quarter. So people like you that come up to me and ask me what I'm doing, I'm getting rich off of people like you. So thank you very much. So
Hey,
I'm just gonna
that is an
troll these fucking people.
that is an excellent idea. That is a fucking excellent idea, because you can circle back with that. You can go into that whole spiel about I'm fucking collecting pictures for the season.
Yeah, but
I would watch
but
some shit like that. That's hilarious. But
but
you
after
got to but you got to circle back. That's the important part. You got to circle back. Like once you lead them down that road and you kind of got them believing it a little bit, then you got to be like, I'm just kidding, man. I'm out here doing my first. You know what I mean? Turn it into a joke,
No,
and
no, fuck that. I'm gonna let them leave all
well,
pissed
hold
off.
on,
But based on what
hold
you're
on.
saying,
Are we?
I'm gonna leave a narrative in the video that explains that I was just kidding and why I responded like that.
Okay. Well,
For
I
other
mean,
people,
are you talking about when you're talking to public officials or just regular people?
regular people.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean,
But in the video, based on this conversation with you, for people that are just trying to understand why this is happening, I think it's important to circle back and add the narrative in. This is why I'm responding this way to these people, and this is why I believe it's important to do what I do, and add the actual narrative at the end of the video, so that genuine people who are genuinely trying to understand why I'm doing what I'm doing have the context that they need. You know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
We're covering both bases.
Yeah. I think, yeah. When I do start recording and getting back to doing some stuff, honestly, it has nothing to do with my warrants. It's my kids, dude. They're both, I have 2 kids off grid that are under 2 right now. So it's not feasible for me to be gone for very long, especially not with goats and property shit that I got to deal with. But when I start getting back into it, I think I'm going to do the old lead by example kind of thing, and I'm going to start doing a little bit of First Amendment auditing, as it were, and doing exactly what I just told you. So because I'm not. It's I feel like it's easy for me to explain things to people, but it's a lot easier for me to just do it and show. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
okay, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Because in my mind, if I go in there and it's everybody's only seen videos from me from the perspective of recording cops and government officials, and I have no filter when I'm talking to these people. I could give 2 fucks what I say, what they think about me. I'll say some fucking derogatory, under the covers kind of shit to these people without a care in the world. But I normally don't talk to normal people like that. So you're not going to expect it when I'm yes sir, no sir, inside of you know, I don't think I'll ever go to private businesses, but I'll go and do, public buildings in the same kind of mind frame that I was talking about with standing outside and just being forthcoming with them when they come up and ask me.
Yeah. Well, like I said again, I don't want to beat another dead horse, but I get your point. I just think we disagree on maybe some of the concepts and some of the fallout, or maybe the results, or the negative ramifications of how we go out there and how we audit in certain ways or in certain places. And when it comes to private businesses, I'm just um First Amendment absolutist, and if it results in maybe a little bit of, or even a lot of negativity for the First Amendment auditing community, I still am going to fall on the side of, you're on a public sidewalk, whatever the activities that you're engaged in are First Amendment protected. Do whatever the fuck you want, and I'm free to watch you and say, I don't like that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do it different. I'm going to do it better than you. I'm going to take the things that I like about how you're doing it, incorporate them. I'm going to take the things that I don't like about how you're doing it and get rid of it. But you're on a fucking public. It's funny.
Well,
I got another thing too. Like, I'm going to bring my wife into this. My wife, she's not a First Amendment auditor. Okay. And if my wife were king, or queen rather, she would make it illegal for fat, hairy ass old men to go outside without their shirts, because that just it sends her in a it sends her in a it absolutely, she goes crazy. She's like, oh my god, I can't believe that dude's out here without his shirt. He needs to put his damn shirt on. Hashtag Alcor. But if she were queen, she would make a law outlawing that. And I try to tell her, you can't, you can't do that. You can't make a law, because it's, they have a right to be outside, and they have a right not to wear their shirt in this society. There's precedent for it. It's never been against the law, and it probably never will be against the law. And if you could make a law about that, you could probably make a law about 100 other things that you don't like to see people doing. And I tell her, no, I'm a First Amendment absolutist, and I know going outside and wearing a shirt is probably not First Amendment. Not wearing a shirt is probably not First Amendment related. But
well, hold on a minute. Hold on. I
yeah,
want to touch on that. You said it twice now. You're a First Amendment absolutist or free speech absolutist. What
yeah.
does that mean to you?
It means that there's almost nothing that there's almost nothing that I think should not be First Amendment protected, including yelling fire in a crowded theater.
Okay.
I think there has to be. Go
My
ahead.
idea of an absolutist is a little bit different, but
You know, I think that there has to be an absolute, overwhelming public safety interest in any restrictions on, on First Amendment speech. You know,
well, so there's. Oh, thank you. I cut ties with somebody recently over this First Amendment absolutist type stuff. And I'll tell you what I mean, because he called me a First Amendment absolutist, and I don't think that I am. And this is a friend, and I'll just leave it at that because I don't want to identify him at all. But this is pretty recent. And he was online saying, there was so there was a video that he made a comment on, or he shared it on X or Instagram or Facebook, one of those fucking posts. But there was a video of this bald white dude with a red band on his arm with the Nazi sign on it. And this happened in America. And then a black dude walks up to him, and you can't hear what's being said, but he says something. And the dude with the armband's got his hands up, like showing him his palms, like, "Hey man, I don't want any problems," kind of thing. And then the other guy has got his hands down at his side and his fist clenched, says some things, and then punches the dude and knocks him out. And this happened in America. And my my buddy leaves a comment on this shit, and he's like, "That's right, you got to knock Nazis out every time you see one. Knock a Nazi out," or some shit like that. And I was like, I left the comment on there, and I was like, while I don't agree with what the dude's talking about, I more strongly disagree with somebody exercising violence on him because of his beliefs. And then I even stronger, more strongly disagree with you as my friend advocating for somebody perpetrating violence on another person because of what they believe, regardless of what it is. And he called me a free speech absolutist because of this. And he's like, I don't think you have the right to say it. He started quoting like books, books that have been written about, the mind. I don't even know, dude, nothing about the law or the reality of the First Amendment. And it just, it left a bad taste in my mouth, because while I don't agree with the National Socialism or Nazi ideology that these morons walk around with, I also don't agree with people just walking up and punching them because they don't like what they're wearing or what they believe, when they're not doing anything that you need to defend yourself for.
yeah, no, that doesn't make you a First Amendment absolutist. That makes you just
Well,
kind of somebody with common sense and a pragmatist that's able to understand, the First Amendment of the Constitution. I mean, it's pretty basic, but um,
no,
uh, uh,
it's also like in your chats right now. So people have tried to call me. I know I'm not, because a free speech absolutist is going to let somebody come into their chat and, do whatever, like what James Freeman does. James Freeman will let you go in there and pretty much say whatever you want into his chat. And, well, not pretty much. He will let you say whatever you want, as long as, YouTube doesn't kick you off. And I'm not the same way. That's what a free speech absolutist is to me, is,
yeah,
I'll let you come into my house and cuss me out and all kinds of shit. And, you're not going to kick me out. Like,
No,
So when
that's
you say
we. I think we have the same definition of a free speech absolutist, and no, that's not. When I think that you agree with me, when we say free speech absolutist, we're talking about the
in
constitutional
public,
definition of of freedom of speech, not,
where it
that you're
applies, yeah,
not that you can come into my house and start a protest in my fucking living room because I'm a free speech
right,
absolutist. No, you
or on
know,
your YouTube channel in
or
your
on your YouTube
comments.
channel. You don't have free speech in my YouTube channel. This is not a
Exactly.
fucking
Okay.
free speech zone.
All right. All right. All right. So
Yeah,
okay, we are on the same page then,
yeah. I
because
think
that
when I say
yeah,
free speech absolutist, I'm talking about the constitutional definition of the First Amendment free speech.
same.
And
I
there
am
is no
too.
free speech protections in my chat or in my living room.
No, definitely not. No. No, I 100% agree with you on that. Yeah, because I mean, I don't agree with a lot of shit. I don't, and you know what I mean. I can deal with it while I'm out in public because I know people have a right and they should have a right, but I don't have to deal with it on my property, in my house, in my live streams, on my comments. That's and I get a lot of people that will come in and do that. Oh, I thought you were a free speech absolutist. I thought you advocated for the First Amendment. Why are you blocking people in your chat? And I
Yeah,
mean,
I am. There's no free speech. There's no free speech protections in my YouTube chat. And
no.
I can be
Okay.
both. I can be an absolutist and still kick your ass out of my chat because you're not protected in here.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's how, I mean, I'm totally agree with you on that. I think people should, outside of threatening somebody, like something that's actionable, like, if I say I'm going to stab you right now, like that's not free speech. You know what I mean? That's you getting your face caved in before you actually do what you just said you were going to try and do. You can't
Um,
tell people threats in public. That's something I don't agree with because that will get a physical reaction out of me immediately. If somebody's being threatening, you could call me names. You could talk about my mom. You could talk shit about my kids. I mean, you could call me everything you want in the world. But the moment that you turn it into something that I feel I have to act on right now, that's not free speech anymore.
well, yeah, and there's a difference between, being a free speech absolutist and being a fucking idiot.
Right.
I could walk into, let's say, a pro Palestinian rally, or what is it they call it, a free
Oh, okay.
Palestine rally or whatever, and I can say, down with Palestine, save the Jew right in the middle of their protest. But and I could say, hey, if free speech, but I'm gonna get fucking carried out of that place. I'm not gonna walk out. You know what I'm saying? So
Which is
um,
wild. Yeah. I don't agree
yeah.
with that.
So some people, sometimes it's just, even though you're entitled to use your free speech, sometimes you shouldn't. Um, because unless you want to. I mean, if you're willing to take a chance, I mean, if you want to go in there and fight, for your free speech rights, then go ahead. I'm all for it.
Physically,
Yeah,
fuck that.
all for it.
I don't
I'm
like
all
getting
for it.
punched in the face. I'm not a fan of it.
No, no, I'm not either. Especially when it's like freaking 1,000 to 1. It's not really good odds. You know?
Yeah, there's a lot of hypocrisy that happens with what we're doing, and I see it all the time in the comments, and it shows the lack of understanding on a broader perspective. I mean, when people are leaving comments like, "Oh, you deleted my First Amendment right to leave a comment in your chat," like, bro, when normal watchers are commenting shit like that, I mean, you really got to think like, dude, think about how many other people really don't understand the First Amendment. I mean, our whole point of our channels are supposed to be educating people and making them aware of these rights that the government has slowly been trying to fog out of memory, and they don't get it. They don't fucking. I just read a poll recently where, what was it, like 65 or 70% of Americans don't understand the First Amendment? Just like we ask cops all the time, can you name the 5 points? And they can't. Most of them. I mean, it's the same with normal people. The people that are watching our shit. That's why it's so popular on YouTube. Excuse me. Why so many, some channels get a lot of views and they sustain it because there are so many uneducated, stupid Americans.
That is so true. So we're gonna switch gears now, and I want to thank I want to thank you, Direct D,
Oh,
for
there's somebody
coming on the
else.
channel.
Yeah, I
And
gotta go take another shit, so I'm gonna let
I
you go.
want to, well, turn your camera on and go live. This is content. I need content. I'm you know I'm a content whore, but I want to thank you for coming on the chat and clarifying quite a few things for us and correcting me on some issues. And thank you for the discourse that you have engaged in here. I think that the limited number of people that see this, you're going to change a lot of people's minds. And I'm definitely going to get with my friend, and I'm going to tell him, listen, you suck it up and you go over there and you fucking apologize to
Just send me
Direct
an
D.
email, private email.
I'll have him do the email, and whether he does it or not, I don't know. But I'm just going to I'm going to apologize, and I know you're not going to accept this, but I'm going to do it anyways. I'm going to apologize on his behalf, on the name, on behalf of El Guapo. But I know that he personally made the comments to you, so you personally want an apology from him, and that's all. That's completely righteous. That's completely fair.
I
He's on
saw a
here right now.
community
He's
post.
saying thanks. He's on here right now. He's saying thanks, Direct D, for being on the channel. So also, I don't want to put you. I don't want to put you in a channel, but we've said some things about Direct D, and he's come on the channel, and he's said that he doesn't know us. He didn't actually say this, and I'm not quoting him verbatim. I'm just kind of I'm just kind of giving my impression on what he thinks. But he's saying that we've said some shit about him, and we've made some comments about him, and he says if you apologize for the shit that you said about him, he'll throw he'd be more than willing to throw a link for El Guapo on his community page. And I don't need you to do it here live. You didn't make any public comments on my show, so if you want to go into, well, he's doing it right now. He's doing it right now. He's saying he openly and honestly apologizes right now. There's a stand-up.
All right. All right.
There you go.
Well, there it be.
There you go. Look at this. Look at this. Sheep Show bringing people, uniting the fucking world, bringing people together. We are having a kumbaya moment. Everybody get your campfire out, get your lawn chairs out, get your ukuleles out, get around this campfire. Let's start singing kumbaya. The world is a let's start singing. Can somebody throw up We Are the World?
By the way, good to see a face there with Direct D. I've heard of this guy before. I've never seen him, but yeah, good to see you, man.
Absolutely.
He's a real person.
What really just hit me is that you just mentioned the 5 tenets of the First Amendment. And I just wanted to say, if anybody wants a little memory, a little mnemonic device, it's RAPS, RAPPS, religion, assembly, press, petition, and speech. Those are the 5 tenets of the First Amendment. That's all. Just wanted to jump in
Absolutely.
with that. I love that shit.
Yep.
So let us segue here and let me get into this. And again, thank you so much, Direct D, for coming on. You're a stand-up guy. Again, I don't mean this in a negative way, but one of the things that I really like about you that I don't like about other people is you don't have to fucking try and figure out if you're friend or foe with Direct D. You don't have to wonder if he likes you or he doesn't. You don't have to wonder about what he thinks about you. He's going to tell you, and I really appreciate that in people, and I appreciate that in him. So don't forget to go check out Direct D on his channel. Give him the credit that he deserves for the work that he's done in the 1A community. You're definitely welcome to hang around here, Direct D, and chime in if you want to. But we're definitely switching gears now, and we're going to get into a different topic about the Scientology protesters, which is the reason that I relaunched this channel. And one of the only 2 videos that I have on this channel are completely unrelated and to 1A, but at the same time, they are completely intertwined with 1A, and there's a lot of similarities between the 1A movement and the kind of things that the SP protesters get involved in. And I just think it's a dirty, rotten shame that
talking about like Film the Police LA and that one blonde chick and those people that are always outside of the Scientology building in Cali.
Yeah. Those people that incessantly do fucking laps around the Scientology building who have gone to war.
They're outside
of. I follow them too.
That's not the only building they're outside of. What?
That is true. Well, they've recently started a war with Sheep Show, and I am more than happy to engage in this fight with them. I think that they're a bunch of freaking dumb shits, because I think that if they truly wanted to further their cause, they had a gold mine um, opportunity in trying to get in the good graces of the 1A community. And although I have a really small channel and my reach is very small, they have definitely made an enemy out of me, and they could have easily made a friend out of me. And I went and I got involved with these with these shit bucket pukes, these shit bucket pukes out there, to support them and their right to protest on a public sidewalk. And one of the things that angered me was the overzealousness and the violence that the Church of Scientology is using against them, and the lies that they were telling them that they couldn't walk down a public street. So I went there to challenge the fact that they were being told by Scientology that they couldn't walk down a public street. And I knew that they were being targeted because they were protesters with cameras. So I went down there to challenge that. And that is when I first got splashed with the shit from DOA shit bucket. And now they are engaged in a war with me. And I'm more than happy to engage in that war with them. I would advise them against it. I think that their cause would be much better served to make an alliance with 1A rather than calling me a chomo and threatening to come to my house, and threatening to get restraining. Oh yeah, these fuckers have gone off the fucking ledge, man. Threatening to get restraining orders against me. So basically, I'm trolling the fuck out of them right now, DirectD, and I'm laughing and I'm having fun, and they're trying to get
who specifically.
DirectD,
DOA.
Film the Police LA has been walking outside, putting up flyers about me, trying to hunt me down and find me, and bring people to my residence.
What? I thought he was all right.
Look at the last 7 videos on Scientology Audit. They're about me, and then they're coming after Sheep Show now. They've already gotten a restraining order against me. I got to go back to court on the 3rd because I had to file for an ex parte motion, which they granted us.
I'm the new victim. I'm a new target.
What?
I'm a brand new target.
That makes sense. Okay, because I was in a couple of their live streams and I didn't understand what they were doing. It kind of looked like they were cop watching. Jessica, I was in Jessica's, and I was like, "Are you all cop watching?" And the way she answered was like, "I ain't cop watching." Like I was like, "Okay, excuse me."
Yeah.
Okay.
She's a excuse my language. She is more of a cock watcher. Than a cop watcher. Just my opinion. Excuse my language.
You got DirectD. You need to go check out ZDT. I really think that you would enjoy his channel. I really do.
Who?
In the panel right now, Zero Dark Tony.
That would be me.
Yeah.
I'm the boogeyman. They say I'm the boogeyman.
Yeah. I could be wrong, but I think you would love this guy's content. I really do. I could be wrong. I was wrong once before. My wife pointed it out to me.
Once.
Yeah, once. But
it's good to be wrong about things because then you get better at them.
For sure.
That's true. That's true. But yeah. So apparently apparently they're going to go to my house now, and they're going to get restraining orders.
Are they going to protest you?
Yeah, they're going to protest me, which is a dog whistle code for they're going to unalive me and my whole family.
Exactly.
And probably, these people are absolutely have gone off the deep end. And like I said, I'll say it again. It's really sad because if I were, well, first of all, let me say, you guys need to get a new leader, because DOA, as your official unofficial leader, he just ain't doing the job. He's losing more people than he's gaining.
Who's DOA?
He's a defender of ants. He's their official unofficial leader. They got the new muscle in there, Crackhead Kenny. Now, Crackhead Kenny, he's the lieutenant. He's the enforcer. And apparently now also their new legal advisor. So Crackhead Kenny is he's filling multiple roles for them. He is legal advisor and
I'm
lieutenant
going to smack that
enforcer.
man out your mouth. I stand on
So
business.
I'm gonna come out retirement. I'm gonna stand on business, smack that man out your mouth. Now, Crackhead Kenny is that's why I haven't gone back to Big Blue, because I'm afraid of Crackhead Kenny, that he might come out of retirement and he might latch on to me with
Walmart
them gold.
boxing gloves.
Well, no, I'm more afraid of he gonna latch on to me with them gold teeth. And I saw that video of
they don't rust.
Dodge's dog, trying to rip his face off, and I pictured the first thing that I pictured was Crackhead Kenny trying to do that to me with them gold teeth, and it immediately gave me pause and made me start avoiding the Big Blue building. I just can't even. That just scares the shit out of me. But yeah, ZDT, why don't you fill us in on what's going on? What's the new? Did you see the latest fundraiser panel with DOA and Henry, the doxing dick? Henry has doxed me. That was the very first thing that he did. Direct D. He doxed me because that's what they do. Anybody that doesn't ride their nuts and agree with them 100%, they immediately go on the attack. They dox you. They try and intimidate you, and they send their little cult minions out to go after you, try and get you fired. They engage in character assassination and try and get you fired from your job. They try and get your businesses closed down. They try and get you put in jail and arrested, which is what their little old lady, Tori, did to me. She called the cops on me out there and tried to get me arrested because I think I called her a broad. But actually, I think she called the cops on me before I called her a broad. And so now, because I called her a broad, I'm a child molester.
Right.
I'm
we're all
a
chomos
chomo.
because she's a dusty old sliz, and we're all of a sudden, criminals.
So
wow,
people are going to come to my house and unalive my family.
I've been following like Film the Police LA and that.
I'm the guy he's talking about. Okay,
That's crazy, dude. I thought he was the okay. Weird.
I'm the predator that they're talking about, by the way. That's me.
Yeah,
because I support what they're doing out there, fucking with the cult, scam shit of the Scientology. But that's weird that they wouldn't support you. What the fuck?
Well, just don't ever say anything critical about them. Make sure you make their nuts, and when you ride their nuts,
What did you say that was critical?
What did I say? Well, what happened was he went on Daniel Mack's show and said he's never had any problem with the law, and I discovered that he was arrested for 11 pounds of cocaine in the 90s. He's a convicted felon, and he ran from New York, and he's been living with his mother for 30 years in a 700 square foot apartment. He came after me viciously. He actually sent people after me on Hollywood Boulevard when I went to observe some of that stuff. I left him alone. I was respectful of him. But then he decided to try and, he actually left I don't know my father very well, but he passed away recently. He went on to my father's memorial YouTube, and he left nasty comments. So that's the kind of person he is. He will go that far. He's threatened to go to my mother's house, right? Just because I said that he smells his mother's shit every morning when he wakes up, because he does, because he lives with her. I mean, it's a fact. Sorry.
And who are we talking about again?
William Good, Film the Police LA.
Oh, wow.
Streets.
Yeah, Streets. The guy with all the...
Go to Scientology Audit, his YouTube channel. The last 7 videos are him pacing up and down my street, or what he thinks is my street, or might be my street. It could be my street, might not be my street. But the point is that he's posting flyers that I am a sexual predator of a minor. Okay?
See,
I've never met this kid.
That's a DOA supporter here on the screen there. Sheep Show, Fat Pig Show. That's a DOA nutrider right there.
Well, we're all fat pigs in our own way, aren't we?
Interesting.
But yeah, that's what's going. He's not a 1A guy. All I've been doing is making fun of He's not a minor. He's emancipated on YouTube. His mother gave him permission. He's calling me a predator and a stalker because we're stream sniping and watching them on stream. Then they called me a stalker. I've never been anywhere near them. So they went and lied in court and got a default judgment on a civil restraining order. I have to go to fucking court, right? I have to go to court on the 3rd with an attorney because they lied in court. And I'll tell you, we're going to get a trial, and you guys are going to see some fucking fireworks over the next few weeks with this motherfucking thing.
Yeah. So
that's kind of what's up. I didn't do anything other than free speech. He's a 1A auditor. He's doing the same thing to me that he complained that Joey did to him, taking away his first. I'm not even outside. I'm inside. Just so everybody knows that's part of the inside joke. But, you know, that's what's going on, dude. These people, and there's nobody other than Sheep Show now who has picked up and go, hey, man, this is fucking wrong. Now they come after Sheep Show. This has to do, it leads back to Aaron Smith-Levin, Jeffrey Augustine, and Karen de la Carriere. These are the people who were coordinating and pulling the strings and paying people like Streets, Angry Gay Pope, people to make videos about me. Now Henri is going down to the Wilshire police station yelling at the cops why they're not arresting me for violating an RO. How am I violating an RO? First of all, I didn't accept it because I wasn't served. So we have a court date. He knows that, and they're still fucking with me. Like, there's a court date. And they're not, and that judge, when they see all this shit being done and how much Solomon and William and their mother fucking lied in court, it's going to be a big problem for them. So that's what it is. That's what's happening. It is a vexatious and perjurious suit against me. And it's the 10th time they've done it. Okay? It's the 10th time they tried to file charges or bring me to court. Leah Remini tried to file an injunction to have my channel shut down herself. Leah Remini and Claire Headley from the Aftermath Foundation. And Aaron Smith-Levin tried to come to my door to serve those papers for Vanessa to get a restraining order a year ago that was thrown out of court. So now they're just trying it again. So they're just there to fuck with you. That one was dismissed. So we're in a situation where, you know, I have to undo, and I was just going to fucking let it go. I was just going to let it go and say, fuck it, it's a civil order. It's not going to affect my money. But then William comes out of the courtroom and he's like, we're going to get Scientology. Tony's a Scientology. I'm not a Scientologist. I'm not a Scientology influencer. I'm not an influencer. I'm a creator. I'm not an influencer. I don't want to influence anybody. Fuck you. There's my influencer, right? Watch me or don't. But the bottom line is I have an audience. My audience would not follow me. I wouldn't have 8K plus viewers and have gotten 2,000 viewers in the past couple months because I'm a predator, right? I wouldn't have an audience. I'd have a jail cell. I'm not on any Megan's list. I've never been charged with any sexual impropriety by anyone. Violent crimes, yes. Drugs, never arrested for the drugs, but the drugs caused the violent crimes. We've all been there. I did 6 months in county jail on a fucking battery that was dismissed and expunged. I'm not a felon. My shit's clean. And they still keep insisting and calling me a predator in public, which could cause me great harm. And William is posting these things saying, there's a lot of MS-13 gang members around here, don't like chomos. Oh, really? Oh, that's his intention then. Well, you come to my door. His son's name is Hollow. His son was killed in a shooting 2 years ago. He's not trying to find his son's killer. He's coming after me on behalf of a 16-year-old boy that's not even his son, that he hugs and plays with scooters with in the middle of the night in Hollywood. Like because he's a... Wait, that wasn't the right one. Hold on, it was this one. Because he's a fat... You know what I mean? With the kid. And he's telling me I don't play with little boys on scooters in the middle of the night and hug them in courtrooms like William does. William has actually touched Solomon. I haven't. I'm the predator? Okay. Anyway, come to my door and it'll be a different thing because then they get, you know? So that's what's going on. That's what I have to deal with because of these fucking people. They have been terrorizing me and my family for over a year. Calling my mother, my sister, harassing anybody that they can. My followers on Instagram, they message them. I don't do anything like that. Never have. There you go.
That's right. That is absolutely right. You know, they just for a little bit of context, one of the issues that they have with me was I did a report, a news report on them from the state of Utah that they were supposed to be at, and they think I was following them when actually, I'm a truck driver, and I just happened to be passing through the state of Utah on my way to Moreno Valley, California. I don't remember where I was coming from. I think I was actually coming from Boston, Massachusetts, and I happened to be going through the state of Utah. So I stopped and I trolled them at a rest area, and I tried to make the trolling broadcast as absolutely asinine and ridiculous as I possibly could, so that every single person on the planet would automatically know that it was a joke. And apparently, these people with collective IQ still in the single digits, uh, apparently they didn't think it was a joke. So now they want to get a restraining order against me. They want to come to my house and unalive my family. They want to get my business shut down and make me unemployed.
Take
They
your
want to make my
license
family
away, all that
homeless.
shit.
They
Yeah.
want exactly, because these people with a collective IQ in the single digits don't know what I mean. What news reporter would say that Scrawny laid a fart and Deep Fried fell dead in their news report, and they want to say that I'm doxing their location? Can anybody tell me exactly where the city of Nevada is in the state of Nevada? As far as I know, there's no. As far as I don't know where the city of Nevada is in the state of Nevada. So I don't know how they could say that I'm doxing their location. But these people, they're not very bright. They're really not very bright, and that's why I think that as long as they have DOA and crackhead Kenny and Henry the doxing Dick and Dodge the I suspect grapes his dog in the middle of the night in his motel room. As long as they have them as their front men, I really don't. I can really see why uh,
Do
with
you know
all of
about
their efforts.
Do you know about Dodge's Mexican prostitute?
Um, no, is it a human or a canine?
Well, he was in Mexico and he raw dogged a Mexican prostitute, thought he got her knocked up, and sent her $500 for a terminating situation procedure. Yeah, that's Dodge. Barebacking Mexican hookers. That's a good idea. That's really putting your dick up on the crap table.
Well, it was I suspected it was probably behind the black curtain, and it probably wasn't even a female. That's what I suspect, but I could be wrong.
Anyway, that's a little of his background. But they came at you because of some of the stuff with Dodge. Then we did a little number on. Look, I called the Highway Patrol. I did, but you and I, they get a little taste of their own medicine, and they cannot take it. They just cannot take a little bit of clapback or criticism. And earlier on last year, Nora from the SPTV community went on and she did a bunch of stuff about me. And it looked like she had her work stuff on. It looked like she was in the parking lot of her job, and she's sitting there fucking literally harassing me, causing me to get threats. I was on Aaron Smith Levin's show. I was a guest. He deleted that episode, but I have it right here if you want to see any of it. Anyway, I have been not only on that show, but I showed them a lot of support, tried to be helpful. So Nora makes this shitty video about me, and I called the legal department at her work at SafeLight, and I said, well, looks like Nora is maybe using your internet, and apparently she was fired from that job at SafeLight, right? So I don't have any problem with that kind of shit. If someone's going to harass me from their work, fuck that. I would want somebody to call my company and let me know if one of my employees was wasting my time and money, right? So then smash cut to a little bit later, Vanessa decides to make a false restraining order against me, harass me, make videos. Then I called her work, and she was let go. So if someone's going to send people to make very severe threats against me, then I'm going to call their work, right? But I am not going to do anything unprovoked or for no reason. But these people have been coming at me for over a year. They put up as much of my personal public information that they can. And it's some vicious shit. And there's going to come a time, and it may not be when you still possess this mortal coil, but when you go beyond this plane that we exist in, you're going to be judged, and you're going to have to answer for your actions in this life. And when you are cruel in a unmotivated, unnecessary way, the worst will happen to you. And that's why they have the lives that they have. That's why they live in vans. That's why they don't have any nice place to put their head down. They don't have anyone to give them a hug. They don't have anyone to tell them that they love them. They don't have anything of value. So they want other people's. And that's where the mental illness is. Back to you, Bob.
So I just want to touch on a point that somebody said earlier. I am not personally doing anything to them that I have not seen them personally do to other people. Every single solitary thing that I have said and action that I have taken right out of the DOA, Laura Auda, Dodge Landisman, and Henry the Doxing Dick's playbook, and Kenny, the new freaking goon, lieutenant enforcer, and legal analyst. I have not done anything to any of them that I have not seen them do to other people.
You could share that picture if you want. You had mentioned her.
So I figure out how to do it.
There's a little toggle.
What does the little toggle look like?
The toggle switch is like up in the right of the panel of the picture. See that little switch?
Oh, I see it. I see it. How do you do? Okay, so you just go here.
There you go. That's who you were talking about.
Yeah, I can't pull it up right now because I'll fudge it up. But there's in DOA's latest video, there's a picture of her laying with a really cute dog, and my very first thought was, who else thinks that the dog is cuter than her?
Leave that up, because it's going to let me share a couple things that I could show you and your audience. Yesterday we discovered a manifesto, and I wanted to share this with you. We have a suspect, Henri Marini. He is on the loose. He is a manifesto writer. He is the Marini bomber. We wanted to show you. He's on the loose. Okay, just look on your screen there. We're looking for him.
The Marini bomber.
The Marini bomber. I'm just going to go through a couple of these for you so you can see. We know that there's Scientologists, Lara. We have Lara Ron Hubbard right here. Lara Ron Hubbard.
That is terrible.
And all of these people, they're starting their own show. We've gotten it together, and DOA is ahead. We have the Thunder Spurgs. Say hello to the Thunder Spurgs.
Oh my God! Look at Dodge right. That's fucking hilarious. Oh my God!
And we want to keep it. We want everybody to have positive memories, and Dr. Seuss has always been important. But so we have the Larax.
Oh my God!
There's a few more of these. They're great. You're gonna love them. A few more of these. Now we know that we're gonna see a wedding coming up. There's just one person that you just don't want to say 3 times. DOA juice. DOA juice. DOA juice.
Oh God.
Okay. And a couple more. These are from our AI team over at Artex, the Stupid Horse Industries. All that glitters is not good. Just understand that. All that glitters is not good. And before you get yourself on the road, everybody needs Funyuns. So there is DOA with his new endorsement for Funyuns, ladies and gentlemen.
He ought to do the Funyun van. I think that he needs a Funyun endorsement, and he ought to change his van to Funyun.
You could leave that up there if you want, whatever you want to do with it, but that's gold. That's literally Funyuns are gold to him.
You saved the best for last. That is
That's
definitely
right. That's right. You got to bring it home with something good.
Funyuns, Funyun boy, man. I might have to. Wow, that is absolutely. I wonder how many Funyuns are in his shit bucket. That is absolutely amazing.
He
Absolutely
loves
amazing.
Funyuns. He's like, I love the Funyuns. Yeah, look at my Funyuns. Look at this bag of Funyuns. Can I have a Funyun?
I don't. That is so funny. Absolutely crazy. That's good. So, all right, people. I am going to have to call this. I'm going to have to get back to work now. Where am I going? Let me see if I can remember where I'm going. I am going to. I'm gonna run on up to Maryland real quick, and then I'm going to shoot down to El Paso, Texas.
Okay, first, before you do this, I need to leave so that you could do your wrap up thing with your audience.
Okay, well, thanks for.
And this is where I say do your plugs, and I go just come over to Zero Dark Tony whenever you want. Me and Sheep are going to be working together. Thank you so much for having me on today. I really appreciate it, and I will see everybody on the next one. Sheep, drive safe. We'll see you soon. Okay, buddy.
All right, well, take care. Thanks for coming in. Right. And let me just clarify something real quick. When ZDT says that him and Sheep are going to be working together, this is something that he has said on his show. We are each, listen, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And unfortunately, DOA and Laura Auda, not so much her, but, yeah, I heard she has not washed her hands like Pilate did. Let me just say that to you. She has not washed her. Oh, here's the man of the hour. The man of the hour, Johnny Bravo. Now, I predict that. Now, let me just make this disclaimer. Let me just make this full disclaimer. I am completely anti-violent. I do not support violence in any way, shape, or form. But I do 100% think that Johnny Bravo is going to be involved in some sort of violence. Now, I don't know whether he's going to be the actual victim or the actual perpetrator, but I have had a vision that Johnny Bravo is going to be involved in some sort of violence. So I don't know if I need to warn people around Johnny Bravo that they could be the victim of violence from him, or if I need to tell Johnny Bravo that he needs to kind of watch his back, that he could be the victim of violence. But I have had a vision about Johnny Bravo, and it did involve violence. So if anybody's thinking of harming Johnny Bravo, I'm going to ask you right now, don't do it. And if Johnny Bravo's thinking about harming anybody, I'm going to have to ask you right now, don't do it. But that's the least of Johnny Bravo's worries, because I also truly believe 100%, and I believe this with 100% certainty, that there is a nice, warm bed waiting for Johnny Bravo in the absolute anal cavity of hell. So, Johnny Bravo, I hope that maybe you see the error of your evil ways, and you repent of your evil deeds, and you come to your senses. But until that happens, Johnny Bravo, all I'm going to do is pray for you and hope that the collateral damage that you create with your existence doesn't hurt too many innocent people. It has been my experience, and I have gained wisdom over the years. It has been my experience that people like you, generally most of the people around them, suffer as a result of knowing you and being affiliated with people like you. So, I mean, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if mom's got cancer or if dad's got cancer. I don't know if, your girlfriend's having issues. I don't know if you're having health issues. I don't know if you're homeless. I don't know if you're struggling financially and your whole family is struggling, but usually people that are associated with the dregs of society like you, and people that come from such an evil, demonic place like you, usually the people around them suffer too. So I just hope and pray that, anybody that knows you, or anybody that's unlucky enough to have been touched by you, doesn't suffer too much as a result of your existence. But it's not too late for you, Johnny. you can repent of your evil ways, and you can change. And I hope and pray that you do. But anyways, let me just say this. Um, ZDT and I, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, and ZDT does not give me any instructions or tell me what to do. All of my little shenanigans and my little jokes and my little sideshows and my little what do you call it? My satire I come up with on my own, and I certainly don't tell ZDT what to do, and he does everything that that he does on his own. Although we have common enemies, we are not pulling each other's anything, including shot. We're calling the shots for. We're not touching each other in any way, shape, or form, like like Dodge Landisman does with, like I believe like I believe Dodge does with his poor little doggy in the middle of the night in those seedy motel rooms. No, as a matter of fact, I'll tell you what happened to me in prison. Um, what happened to me in prison, and it wasn't prison, it was jail. I'll tell you what happened to me. God surrounded me with a whole bunch of really cool people who looked out for me in there and protected me. So absolutely not. I was from the moment I walked in there, uh, people started coming up to me, and I was suspicious because I thought I was going to get violated, because I thought, why are all of these people protecting me? And then I immediately realized that it was Almighty God sending me protectors in jail who were looking out for me. And no, absolutely nobody laid a fucking hand on me in jail. As a matter of fact, I was treated very respectfully in jail, more respectfully than any of you DOA dick writers have ever treated me. So that says something about you guys, that every single race and every single person that I dealt with inside of jail treated me far better than any of you DOA dick writers ever have. So there's that, but absolutely not. God surrounded me with a whole bunch of people that were very nice and very respectful to me in jail, and we're very matter of fact, um, yeah, I got to tell you. I mean, if jail wasn't jail, I wouldn't mind hanging out with anybody that I met in that place, because they were really cool people, every single one of them. And I can't say the same for people that I meet like you, or that came from from the SP cult. I can't say the same about people like you. You guys are just you're the you're some of the worst. You're bad humans. You guys got a bad actor list. I got a bad human list, and almost all of you are on it. But anyways, I'm gonna stop reading the chat because you guys are getting me distracted here. You guys are distracting me, and I got to get off here and say my goodbyes and say my sign off. So I want to thank you all for coming in. This was not supposed to go this way. I was just supposed to test the stream to see if Restream would work on my Johnny's crying about Johnny, you're the biggest little bitch. You talk so much shit and then you fucking cry. You sound like, are you sure you're not a DOA sock account? Because that sounds like something DOA would say. It sounds like, damn it, I got to stop reading these chats. It sounds like something DOA would say. He would go out and fucking threaten everybody and make all kinds of threats, call people chomos, like you did, Johnny Bravo. You called me a chomo, and you also said that you were going to call the police on me. And then you go out and you cry like a little bitch. Is that a threat, Breeze? Is that a threat, Breeze? You sound exactly like DOA, and not only are you an evil person, Johnny Bravo, but you're just a fucking disgusting, despicable person as well. What a bitch. What a little bitch. Breeze, please don't type anything. Breeze, please don't type anything that is going to make Johnny Bravo feel like you're threatening him. Please don't say, Johnny Bravo, you're ugly, because Johnny Bravo's going to say, is that a threat? Are you threatening me? Please don't say, Johnny Bravo, I don't like your avatar, because he's going to say, is that a threat? And the next thing that's going to happen, Breeze, is Johnny Bravo is going to be down there, and well, Johnny, the next going to happen is Johnny Bravo is going to be down there trying to get an RO against you because you told him he was ugly or something like that, whatever. So, hey, Johnny, hurry up! You got about, I would say maybe, because you're distracting the fuck out of me, really, honestly. You got about 3 more As a matter of fact, never mind. I changed my mind. If I got any mods in here, can we get rid of Johnny Bravo, please? Because he's already violated my no troll policy. Obviously he doesn't want to add anything to the argument. He's not adding information. He's just in here being a little troll dick. So I have any mods in here? Can we please get rid of Johnny Bravo, like, for the longest time possible? Because I don't know if I could do it. I don't think I could do it from here. Let me see. Can I? Yes, I can. Hallelujah. Here we go. Look at what God did. Look at what God just did for me, Johnny Bravo. Look at this. Look at what God just did for me, Johnny Bravo. Look at that. I didn't even think I could do it. And I pushed the little 3 buttons, the hold. It said block Johnny Bravo forever and send him straight to hell. I'm just kidding. I can't send you to hell, Johnny Bravo. I don't get a vote. Although I do believe that unless you change your evil ways, that's where you're going. Anyhow, I'm entitled to believe whatever I want. You can either agree with me or disagree with me. You don't have to agree with me. I'm not asking anybody to agree with or share my beliefs in God. Everybody's entitled to believe anything that they want here, including atheists, including Muslims, including what else is Buddhists. You're all welcome in my channel. I love you all. You don't have to believe in you don't have to share my faith, and you don't have to love the God that I love as much as I love him, and you don't have to love my Christ as much as I love my Christ. Every single person here is welcome, and I'll tell you, I'll even go one thing further. You are allowed to criticize me and my religion, although it's kind of off topic. So I really don't mind if you do that. But Johnny Bravo is just, I shouldn't have let him in here in the first place. A fucking chomo. The dude said he was going to call the cops on me. Those should have been immediately things that you should never be able to come back from. So I don't even know why I gave him the time that I did in here. I'm just a bleeding heart. It's my generosity. It's my generosity towards the human race. And that's why I gave him, that little tiny bit of a platform that he had in here. But I shouldn't have even allowed him in here for calling the cops on me, number one, for calling me a chomo, number two, and for being a big bitch, number three. So goodbye, Johnny Bravo. Have a nice day. Me and DOA, we although the enemy of my enemy is my friends, we are certainly not telling each other what to do. We are certainly not colluding in any way. DOA had absolutely nothing to do, nor did he even know that I was going to Utah to do a skit on my show. And I just want to talk about that a little bit. I want to kind of help you dummies out. I want to kind of help DOA and Henry and everyone knows that DOA's name is Scotty. Let me see here. I want to throw up in the. Here we go. Let's throw up there. What the heck? Johnny, I don't even know. But DOA does say it wrong. Let me just do this real quick. I apologize, people. I'm trying to learn this as we go. So let me just try to help you out, DOA and Henry, the doxing dick, and Dodge, the dog graping absolute life loser with a master's degree that doesn't have a job and doesn't have a home and has to grift off of old ladies in order to live in seedy motels. Let me just kind of help you guys out. I just happened to be going through the state of Utah on my way to Moreno Valley, so I'm not following you. I could care less where you guys go. It's not my fault if you happen to be in the same state that I'm in. As a matter of fact, if it happens too much and you continue to happen to be in the same states that I'm in, I might have to pursue a restraining order against all of you. I might have to do that anyways, considering you and your chat are threatening to go to, at least your chat is threatening to go to my house and unalive my family. But and you're not doing anything to, you're not blocking those people or taking those comments down. They're still up. I still have them screenshotted. But anyways, the if I happen to go through a state that you're in, it's not my problem. It's not my fault. Stay out of the fucking states that I'm working in. You guys don't have fucking jobs. You guys are fucking grifters. What do you know? I'm trying to fucking work. Pardon me. I'm starting to use profanity again. Stay out of the states that I'm working in. How about that? Okay, how about that? And for those of you that want to say that I'm doxing their location, I'm not doxing your location. Thing is a state, as a city of Nevada. For those of you that want to say that I'm swatting them, look up the definition. And listen, Henry is supposed to be this, and both Henry and Crackhead Kenny are supposed to be these elite legal minds, these untouchable elite legal minds, these geniuses with with unlimited legal advice to expound on, and they can't even seem to grasp the legal definition of swatting. Henry out there every day with the element. Henry thinks that his crime doesn't. Henry, listen. Henry thinks that he can go and graffiti somebody's wall and say, it's not vandalism because I improved the wall. It's not vandalism because I made it look better than it did before I put graffiti on it. It's not vandalism because it can be washed off. It can be sandblasted off the wall or painted over. All you got to do is sandblast it or paint over it, and it's not, and therefore it's not vandalism. Henry, this absolute legal genius, can't seem to grasp the concept of what a swatting is. They can't seem to grasp the concept of what swatting is. They also can't seem to grasp the concept of what a show is, and that there's a reason that my channel is called Sheep Show and not Sheep Show News. There's a reason that my show is not called Sheep Show News. It's called Sheep Show. There's a reason that I have a disclaimer on my About page that says that I do politically incorrect satire. Show, stay out of elementary schools and filming little kids. And here comes Crackhead Kenny. Here comes Crackhead Kenny. Well, you know, Kenny, one of the things that I noticed was you said something on the live. You said something on the live today, and Henry said something on the live today. And you're already suspect in my mind because you're one of those people that continues, like, the only thing that's on your mind all day, every day are little kids. I mean, it's not like there's any balance in your life. It's not like you have any balance. It's all day, every waking moment, and also in your dreams. The only thing on your mind are little kids. And so you are already suspect to me, number one. Number two, you like to call other people chomos, which is also a very common sign that real chomos exhibit. So that's the number two reason why you are suspect to me. And number three, you're all on the show today, and Crackhead Kenny, I know that you're an absolute legal scholar, and I know that you're an absolute brilliant person, and I don't want to insult your intelligence, but you might have to look this one up. I just think there's a possibility that you might have to look this one up, KK. You might have to look this one up, KK. Look up a Freudian slip. Look up a Freudian slip. Because when you guys were all talking about little kids on your, which you guys talk way too much about little kids. When you guys are all, do you even have any kids, Crackhead Kenny? You got any kids? I mean, I got kids. So, oh, is that true, Crackhead Kenny? I'll tell you what, Crackhead Kenny, why don't you do me a favor, okay? Why don't you clip the pictures of the little girls that I was filming? Why don't you clip that for me? And then we can bring you on the show and we can discuss the little girls I was filming and why I was filming the little girls. Or you could admit that you're a fucking liar on my program right now. So Why don't you? But hang on, hang on, KK, hang on, KK. Before you go, I want you to look up Freudian slip, and I want you to explain to me, KK. Um, why is it today, when you guys were all talking about little children on your live panel, you, DOA, and Henry, why is it when you were talking about little kids, Henry said that this subject of little kids is something that really gets people up? If you don't believe me, go watch the live stream. Go watch DOA's live stream. It's okay. You can give him the views if you want to. You can give it. You can. I don't mind. You can give him the views. Even give him a like if you want to. It doesn't mind. But go watch when they're talking about little kids, and where Henry says, when he's talking about little kids, that the subject of little kids gets everybody up. That's what's called a Freudian slip. Okay? And hopefully spell check will help you out with the word Freudian. You might be able to, hopefully spell check will work. And you can go in and you can watch that little Freudian slip. So, and you guys all giggled, about it when he said it, and I really didn't understand why you were all giggling about it, and it immediately caught my attention. It's like that's a very strange choice of words when you're talking about little children, and when you're talking about, despicable, disgusting acts, that happen with little children. You say that's a subject that gets everybody up. It doesn't get me up. So, Crackhead Kenny, now that I got you on the show and you're making all of these innuendos and allegations, I want to ask you a question, Crackhead Kenny. I gotta let me see. Well, let's just, because you said little girls. I have a daughter and I have a granddaughter, Crackhead Kenny. Which one are you accusing me of doing anything? And I'm not just talking about PDF shit. I'm not just talking about uh, 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 about PDF file shit. I want to know, which one are you accusing me of doing anything inappropriate with? Are you accusing me of doing something inappropriate with my daughter or with my granddaughter? I want to know. I'd like to know that from you, KK. I'd like to know that from you. Whether it's child abuse, or whether it's physical discipline, whether it's the other kind of PDF disgusting shit. I want to know, which one are you accusing me of doing anything inappropriate with, my daughter or my granddaughter? You want to answer that for me? Because I really think you ought to cut out the whole filming girl shits, or well, I can tell you, nothing ever, not one time in my entire life. There, I told you, I have never, ever, one time in my entire fucking life, ever did anything with my daughter or my granddaughter in my entire fucking life, with one exception. With one exception, one time I said something mean to my daughter that I couldn't take back. And I've already confessed that in public, live on my channel. I said something that was mean to my daughter that I've already confessed publicly live on my channel. I'm certainly not going to fucking tell you what it was, but it wasn't unlawful. It had nothing to do with being a PDF. It had nothing to do with any of that. Nothing to do with any of that. So, yeah, I really like to know. But I'll answer your question, Kenny. The answer is absolutely nothing. You know, you're telling on yourself, Kenny. You're telling on yourself. So what? I went to a school. So what? I went to lots of schools, Kenny. And you're starting to it's hard for me to keep up. Yeah, it is. It is. It's more of their character assassination. See, look at Crackhead Kenny's comments, okay? You went to the school, not me. What's the intent there? What's the intent there? The intent is to make people believe that I'm a freaking predator. That's the intent. Now, this 007, gold tooth uh legal eagle genius, uh he doesn't know anything about me, doesn't have any evidence that I'm what he is trying to make people believe that I am. But the reason that I'm bringing it up is because this is the MO that they use. This is what DOA, Henry the Doxing Dick, Dodge Landisman, um, and uh, and uh, and Crackhead Kenny. This is what they do. This is what they, and then they cry. Speaking of schoolgirls, Crackhead Kenny. Speaking of schoolgirls, who you are one. You're a fucking little schoolgirl. Speaking, and I'll make sure that I won't film you, Crackhead Kenny, because you are a little schoolgirl. Then they act like little schoolgirls and cry big, giant schoolgirl crocodile tears when anybody does the same thing to them. And they're so devoid of any concept of reality that they can't even see that they're doing it. They don't even know that the only thing that is being done to them is the same shit that they do to everybody else. They don't they're so devoid of reality that they don't even understand um like the attack. They don't understand any of it. But you know, I like that about Crackhead Kenny. I think I'm going to use Crackhead Kenny around, and I think I'm going to use him as the example of people that protest too much, people that are suspect, because everyone is a ZDT. Give me a name. Everyone that is hang on, guys. Sheep show no, I take after your. You do? You take after my dad? Is Crackhead Kenny saying that he takes after my dad? Is that what you're saying? Um, give me 1 second, folks. Give me 1 second, real quick. I need to do something. Sorry, I need to do something. Just please bear with me and give me one. I'm trying to figure out how to do this. Give me 1 second, people. And the more that I do this, the better hopefully I'll be able to. If my mods could watch the chat, mods, do whatever you think is necessary and appropriate for the chat. I trust your judgment. This out. I forgot to do this. Hang on 1 second here. Oh, I can't do this. Hang on 1 second, people. So, this is really pissing me off that I can't. That I can't. Switch. Go there. Then I gotta go here. Sure here. I'm not watching the chat, so do whatever. There we go. And this is, like I said, this wasn't meant to be to turn into this kind of crazy shit show. This was just meant to be a test. So, um, okay, I'm getting somewhere. I'm actually getting somewhere. There we go. There we go. I have added ZDT to my moderating team here, and ZDT, anything that any action that you think is appropriate, you may feel free to take it. I do not second guess my mods and what they do. If a mod does something, I usually never second guess it. That's why they're mods. Now, if happens to not like the kind of clothes you're wearing and you're a friend of mine, make sure that you hit me up at sheepshowmedia@gmail.com, or you send me a text and I can always fix it later. I can always fix it. Um, you know what I say is, as far as concerned, shoot first, ask questions later. So ZDT, feel free to take any action that you feel like you need to take. If you see anything that you feel is inappropriate, you go right ahead and you take any action that you feel like you need to take. Um, I'm sorry it took me so long to get that figured out. I am completely and totally distracted because I'm getting a little bit. Matter of fact, I am getting very late for work here. So thank you all for being here. I'm going to leave this up a couple of more minutes, maybe 3 more minutes before I say goodbye. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate everybody. Out back to the original. Um, I do think that I like Restream better than I like StreamYard. Uh, and it is definitely, what's the word that I'm looking for? It's definitely less expensive than StreamYard, and yeah, it works pretty good here. I'm able to, on the laptop here, I'm able to. Polly, no filter. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. I saw you earlier. I think I said hi earlier. Sheil, aka Sheil, good luck in court, Tony. That's one of the dumbest bitches I've ever freaking came across in this freaking in my oh my god, what a dumb bitch. Um, and I don't even know how she freaking. Go ahead, Tony. I'll happily be on it, and you can show you threaten me for simply saying your threats are. Go ahead, Tony. I'll happily be on it, and you can show you threaten me because I simply saying your threats are illegal. Shell, he didn't threaten you. He gave you some very good advice, and he told you to stick a banana in your butt. And I second that. I second that, and I think that we ought to take it to a vote. Um, I second the motion, and I think that we need to take it to a vote. And Anybody that thinks that Shell needs to stick a banana in her butt, you go ahead and push one down there in the comment. Go ahead and put one down there in the comments. I'm just kidding. Everybody's thinking one. Everybody's thinking one, Shell. We all think that you need to stick a banana in your butt, Shell. We think that you. Oh, blank everyone. We need. Look at. He's gonna blank you. What's he gonna do? He's gonna blank you. What I think he means. This is what I think he means. I think that when ZDT says he's going to blank you, I think he means he's going to sue you. That's what I think. Thank you, Breeze. I appreciate you being here. My personal opinion, when ZDT says he's going to blank you, I think he means he's going to sue you. That's what I think. Polly Sheep Show. Bah, bah. All right, people. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you helping me test this out. ZDT, thank you for coming on and being a guest. We got 57 in here. Don't forget to hit the like button on the way out of here. And please don't forget to go check out GoFundMe and type in hashtag Save El Guapo. And if you don't have a dollar, if you're like DOA and you don't have a dollar to your name or a bucket, well, actually, he does have money because he's got all of these fucking grifters, or he's got all of these freaking cult followers and cult watchers that are just freaking throwing him money, which is kind of crazy if you ask me. But if you happen to not be in the best financial situation, you can always send a like to the video or to the GoFundMe. You can always share it out on your own channels. You can always let your friends and relatives know that maybe dog lovers out, just kind of kick them down the Save El Guapo GoFundMe link. But everybody that's interested in saving El Guapo and helping El Guapo, there is that GoFundMe there. All you got to do is type in Save El Guapo on GoFundMe and you'll find it. It's also on all over my community page on my main channel. If anybody has it and you can throw up the link, that would be great. I don't know if Oso is in here. Let me make sure. What is it? Oh, sure, stick up for a chomo. He's not a chomo. He didn't do anything. He never touched a kid, as far as I know. If I thought that Zero Dark Tony touched a kid inappropriately, I'd ban his fucking ass right now. I would ban his ass. If I believe that Zero Dark Tony did anything inappropriate with any children, I would ban his ass right now. Zero Dark Tony is in here because I don't believe that he has ever done anything inappropriate with any children, and I'm going to continue to believe that unless it is proven otherwise. And not only has it never been proven, I've seen absolutely zero evidence. I've seen absolutely zero evidence that ZDT has ever done anything inappropriate with a child. Number one. Number two, Solomon's not a child. He might be a minor, but he's not a child. Stop calling him a child. Please stop calling Solomon a child. There's a difference. There's a big difference. There is a huge difference. Oh, what else? Bucket boy. Bucket boy. What is it? Deep fried? Deep fried? How much grease and how much chicken grease is in his shit bucket? Ugh. Oh, how much chicken grease is in that dude's shit bucket? Where'd Crackhead Kenny? He must have got banned because he's not in here running his mouth anymore. Keep an eye on Crackhead Kenny. I've said it many times. People that protest that much about little children, statistically speaking, people that have that unbalanced fascination with protecting children, it's kind of like a hero complex, kind of like, they're out there with their cape on and they're all about protecting children. It's because they're trying to cover up something that they're hiding. They're feeling self-conscious because they know what they've done in secret and they don't want you to know what they've done in secret. So they try and put on this persona that they're a hero and a protector of children. And that kind of overcompensating is statistically speaking a sign of somebody that might not be right, that could possibly have some kind of a history in doing inappropriate things with children. Not to mention the fact that he's calling other people. It's called projecting. He's projecting these things on other people. Number two and number three, in their chat today, when they were talking about PDF files and they were talking about child victimizations, there was a Freudian slip on their panel today, and Henry, in referring to all of the little children, was saying that that the chomo stuff and the child predator stuff really gets people up. and they all kind of giggled about it. And I don't know if you caught it. I certainly caught it. It was a Freudian slip, and those people are definitely suspect in my mind. There was quite a few other golden tidbits in that live panel this morning. Um, the least of which is Crackhead Kenny being promoted to their new legal to their new legal strategist, as well as being their you got Shell still up here? Oh man, you're being nice to her. You're being nice to Shell. Chief Show, why don't you have a kitty toy on your electric? Why do you have a kitty toy on your? I got a good explanation for that, Sally. It's because and when and if and when the police having a police siren on there to actually be able to make a case against me for having a police siren. So I do have a real one. I have a 100-watt real one in my garage with a speaker, but I didn't want to give them any. I didn't want to make it easier for them to make a case against me that, number one, uh, I have something unlawful on my scooter. So I made sure that I got a toy from Amazon rather than use the real one that I have in my garage. You can accept that explanation or reject that explanation, but it is a true explanation because unlike the people that you associate with, I don't usually lie. Matter of fact, it's very rare that I tell a lie. So I'm pretty much an open book, and I appreciate that question, even though there was a little bit of what was your name? What was your name? I forgot. Why'd you have a toy? Even though I think that there was a little bit of sarcasm in that question, and I think that I think that maybe you meant it to kind of make an implication that that there might be something. There you go, Sally. See, that's a problem with people like you. That's a problem with people like you. Is even when you try to engage in you're so immature, you're so dysfunctional and deplorable that you make it impossible to engage with people like you in any kind of discourse. And that's the reason why you and your butt buddy have so many enemies. That's the reason why the SP protesters are losing people. You know, they're losing people faster than I'm losing my freaking intestinal gas. You guys are freaking hemorrhaging support. And I'm going to continue to watch ZDT's channel grow. Oh, and mine too, by the way. Thank you. Since I launched this channel talking about Dodge, I have, last I checked, I had 115 watch hours and 67 new subs. I don't know how many I have right now. Maybe I could go here and I could check real quick, and I could tell you. Let me just go here to studio real quick because I really do need to go. I really want to tell you. I want to share this with you. Social media, YouTube Studio, demographics, analytics. I've gotten 133 watch hours, and I lost one. I had 67. No, I had 60 something, and 66 new subs. Don't forget to hit the sub button, people, and the like button on your way out. But yeah, I just want to thank you guys for the content. But unlike my channel that's growing and ZDT's channel that's growing, I'm pretty sure that you're funny, Sally Slither. I'm pretty sure that DOA and Henry and Crackhead Kenny, who was absolutely fucking non-existent before he put DOA in his mouth. Crackhead Kenny, before he opened his mouth and inserted DOA into and inserted ZDT into his mouth, was non-existent. I mean, he wasn't even alive. Crackhead Kenny wasn't even alive until he inserted Zero Dark Tony into his mouth. And now Crackhead Kenny, he actually has, you know, a couple of hundred, I think, or he's doing a little bit better. But with the exception of Crackhead Kenny, thank you, Liz, I appreciate that. All of the other channels, they're going to continue to diminish and slow in growth. They're going to continue to alienate people. And let me just tell you guys this. Let me just tell you something, a little silly, little Sally Slither. Let me just tell you something, a little Sally Slither. Streets has the overwhelming majority of his subs come from 1A. That's my wheelhouse. I'm 1A. I'm not SP. I'm 1A. You were a chomo. You were a chomo. You were a chomo. I don't need you in here to talk to you. I don't need you in here to talk to you. I tried to block you, but it wouldn't block you. Wow. Do you have powers? Do you have some sort of powers that are just keeping me from blocking you? Because I try to block you. You freaking, you troll. Ooh, let's see if the overlay works. Let's check this out. It does. Here's the overlay. But my chat has stopped. Anyway, people, I got to get out of here. I have to catch you all on the next one. Thank you all for being here. This is Sheep Show. I love you all. Some of you I don't, but I love you all, and I'm out. Bye. That's okay, Brandon. You know, I trust your judgment. You do what it is that you feel like you need to do. You mod how you